Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where this past week I've asked a few people to go to chambers with me, and they've responded with, "Are you sure you're feeling okay?" Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is the first time you're tuning into Xpwaste, welcome. We are a Runescape podcast. We'll talk primarily about old school Runescape. We may throw in some RS3, who knows? But that's not why you're here. You're here for old school Runescape. We will talk about game updates sometimes. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about what's going on in game. But today's a little different. We have a very special guest joining us in the recording booth here. Today we have one of old school RuneScape's founding area locked account players. I didn't really think of a good way to put that before I said it, but I said it. So welcome, Verf, to the podcast.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Glad to have you. Welcome.
I got that right? Everybody knows Settled. Everybody knows Settled as the guy in Mauritania, but you are one of the original area locked with Karamja only. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. I got the idea from a friend of Caveman Only. Do you guys know Caveman Only?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
He had a really close friend in his chat called Ben. He had a regular Karamja locked ironmen. So I made the ultimate ironman version.
Okay.
That's where it all started. Yeah.
Did you ever play UIM before that or no?
Right. Yeah. I had a normal ultimate ironman as well. Yes.
Thank God. you knew some of the ins and outs of UIM going into it.
Uh-huh.
Because I can imagine that would just be like...
Yeah,
you'll learn throughout your time recording that I'm not the biggest Iron Man fan in the world. I'm very bad at the game mode, so I sometimes have a little bit of venom towards the Iron community. But it just feels like if you started with UIM in like a region locked, I would be miserable. Like I wouldn't even know where to start doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of planning. So you mostly have to get the planning down for if you want to play Ultimate Ironman. It's very important.
I would imagine half of the time you're playing is like spent not playing, and you're just theory crafting, you're researching, you're trying to prep, and then you actually can play the game.
Yeah, and with Ultimate Ironman, it's also very common to do one activity or skill for very long periods of time, because it takes a lot of time to switch activities and skills, because you have to like re-prep everything and pre-plan everything. So that's also a big part of it.
I don't think I could ever do Ultimate. Like I'm barely scratching the surface of playing a group Ironman, and for some people they don't even consider group Ironman like real Ironman, which to each their own. I think it's real Ironman. I just think it's more fun when you have people to play with, and this kind of takes the world of Gielinor and puts it into like 5 people's pockets, not just one. The pockets being, your account. But yeah, Ultimate, that's a different story.
Group Ironman looks very fun, I'll be honest. Like I've watched a lot of people play it. I've never tried it myself. But just doing like bundles with your friends seems really fun. And still be Ironman,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really fun.
You get the satisfaction of like progressing your account in meaningful ways, but also you can do content with people, and it's not a drag, like nothing. And there's no encounter in the game that's off limits as far as you don't have to do it solo if you don't want to, unless you're one of those group Ironmen when you had a group of 3 or a group of 4 or 5 and everybody quit, and now you're the solo group Ironman. It's a lot of people out there like that.
Did you ever have in your group, do you have like one guy grinding out specific things because other people don't want to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we do. We have one of our buddies, TMD, he's been like our crafter sort of, but he loves farming. Farming is his like favorite skill ever. He's got like 90 or 91 on the GIM because we play these accounts in waves. We don't play them all the time.
Unless you're me.
But he's got a super high farm. But like you've only been actively doing it for like a month or two.
No, bro. I started. It's been since March. It's been 4 months.
Well, I mean, has it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say prior to this Iron Man bug, we didn't play the account for like a year. Like we both had that, or like but he's really big into farming, so he's been getting us like seeds and herb lore supplies and stuff like that. He almost exclusively funded Michael's 70 herb lore for Song of the Elves. I've been the Fletcher for a while, where if we need like, fletching supplies, bowstrings, stuff like that, that's been my job. We got a lot of Onyx bolt tips for a while because TMD was just AFK fishing.
Yeah, you kind of split like tasks and skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
Michael's pushing for his quest cape right now.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at me to get my quest cape requirements done.
Well, because Oxie does this cute thing where he's like, hey, we should do this together, and then doesn't progress anything towards that goal. Well, I say anything. He slowly progresses.
He just wants to do group content,
I was like, hey, let's get our quest capes together. And you were 100 quests behind me at the time.
Yeah, and now I'm not. I am, let's see. I am 137 of 156. So I'm less than 20 quests away. And some of them are just like filler quests. There's Rag and Bone Man, Cold War, dumb stuff like that. But I've got pretty much all the Grandmasters left. But yeah.
My issue is 100% going to be the Slayer level. Because I only have 62 Slayer. So I could get my 70s today for Song of the Elves. And I still won't get a quest cape with you. Because it'll take me a million years.
Well, we might have to do Song of the Elves together, but then you just finish your quest cape later. Because I would like to get it before Desert Treasure. I think I could do it. I really think I could.
That's coming out soon, the new quest. This month, right?
From the time of this episode releasing, it's like less than 10 days, I think. Close to 10 days. Maybe more. Maybe like 12 days. But it's soon.
You guys gonna do it on like your main or a different account?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah? I'm not doing it on the Iron to start. That would be that's a death sentence.
I don't know. I'll be out of town the day it releases, unfortunately, and then I'm not coming back until the weekend. So I may do it that weekend on my main account. I don't think it's gonna get done on the Iron for a while.
I think tomorrow when I get into work, I'm going to be like, hey, I have a bunch of appointments scheduled on Wednesday the 26th. It's just like my appointment day, so I'm not going to come to work. 4 new bosses. It's hard to pass up 4 new bosses. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
It's hard to pass that up. So
you are required to do the quest before you can kill the bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm honestly I don't really keep too much track of new updates. I rarely participate in new updates.
Really?
It so happened to be that Forestry was somewhat possible to do on my chunk account, because otherwise I would just I usually watch people on Twitch do new when TOA came out, for example. I was watching people for a week, just kind of seeing what's up with the new raid. But I rarely do new content myself until much later.
That kind of leads me to another question. So, do you have like a fun RuneScape account? We always come to this question when we meet content creators. We're like, "Do you play RuneScape for fun?" And they're like, "Haha, no, I do it professionally." So, do you have an account where when something new does come out, you can enjoy it if that's something you're interested in doing? Or
I mean, I do have a main. It's basically my bond supplier with all the I got some money from winning the Gillinor Games 2. I got the money on that account, and it's just kind of sitting there and not doing much. I mostly use it for testing methods or something for other accounts. I don't really play on it on a weekly basis. Mostly just to buy bonds. So I could do it, but I usually don't with new content. So
okay.
But my unique accounts are my fun accounts, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. So, I don't really enjoy playing a main account anymore nowadays.
So I have a question. You were saying before we started recording that you normally play on 3 accounts. So you have your chunk account, which I would love to get into more.
Right.
But what are the other 2 that you're playing on?
Well, I'm actually active on 4, but playing 4 is usually a little too much. So I usually do 3 and kind of switch between 2. I always have the chunk account currently, and usually the free-to-play ultimate, which is you always doing something AFK. I did fishing recently, killing flesh crawlers for a long time, just AFKing on the side. And now it's doing rune crafting, which is somewhat AFK.
Gosh.
Let's not get into rune.
So
Let's
I
not
imagine,
get into rune crafting.
I imagine you're going to the essence mine, getting a full inventory, then what, like going to earth runes or something?
So I have a lot of bone fragments from killing flesh crawlers for like I think I killed flesh crawlers for like I believe it was like 3 or 4 months, and all the scepters you get, like the unique drop, you can turn them into like fragments, bone fragments it's called, and each bone fragment has 1 teleport to the barbarian village, which is close to the body altar.
Oh, gotcha.
So you mine essence, you teleport with the scepter to the body altar and repeat that basically, and Varrock teleport.
Amazing.
So that's what I'm doing on the side while playing the chunk account usually. The third account, however, not a lot of people know about this. So I mean, some people on Twitch know it, but people on YouTube don't. So I think it will be pretty fun to mention here.
Ooh.
I've made a Desire locked Ultimate Ironman about 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm not always working on it, but I've been working on that account on the side, and I want to make a new like movie type video out of that. But a lot of people don't know about the account yet, so yeah, it's kind of like a secret side project I've been working on.
Okay. That's awesome.
Should we bleep out the thing with the Iron Man so people are
no, it's fine.
Left
like
in mystery.
Some people know about it on Twitch. I've streamed the account before.
Yeah.
The goal is to get a fire cape on it, and I can only use a Desire area.
That's insane.
I just haven't showed it on YouTube or like really talked about it. So, but people can know about it.
Tazar area only. So, is the tack just those like Tazar rings to kill Jad, or are you meleeing it, or?
Yeah, I'm planning on mostly using melee. I'm AFKing Tazar caves all day basically for melee.
Okay.
So I can train melee there, AFKing the waves until I die and just go in the caves again. For range, I have to do maze randoms for arrows, and then use maze randoms to get 60 range, and then at 60 range I can use the obby rings.
Okay,
yeah,
wow, fantastic.
Yeah, it's a very fun idea. It's also not like it's not really an account I can make a whole series about because it's it's not that long of an account. So I've figured I might as well do
like gonna get an infernal cape on that account.
Nah, sadly no. But yeah, I still have to edit everything. I still have to plan everything. But I'm just collecting footage the last months, kind of like I did with the. I don't know if you guys seen or heard of the Fremnik only movie I did. It's pretty similar. I was playing the account for a few months, like on and off. People didn't really know too much about it, and then I made a video about it at some point, and I never played the account again, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the third account I'm playing.
That's awesome. What did you do before you got into area locked stuff? Was that your big YouTube debut? With Karamja only?
Well, I've actually made RuneScape videos since 2008. I had another channel like pre-EOC. I made videos too, but I only did PKing at the time. The channel is still on YouTube, but I don't have access to it anymore, unfortunately.
Oh no.
That's like the first thing I did in RuneScape, and then when Old School came out, I first started a main account like everyone else, and just progressed that and just kind of relived the nostalgia again. And then when Ironman came out, I made an Ironman account at first, a regular Ironman. And then I think at some point I just figured I made a ultimate. I just transitioned to ultimate and played that for a few years, and then I did the area lock stuff. So I kind of keep progressing from like I keep making it harder for myself, basically.
the harder and harder. Are you eventually going to get into the like limited inventory spaces?
Who knows? There's so many options. Who knows? I always say this to people. There's so many ideas and concepts with RuneScape accounts that haven't been made yet. There's going to be some even crazier shit coming to YouTube at some point. Like someone will come up with some crazy idea and it will blow up, and we'll get like this new unique Ironman trend. It's still very popular. The last one I can think of is definitely the chunk stuff, when Limpwood made his extreme chunk account. Like a lot of people made chunk accounts after that. So settled with the Tileman as well. That was pretty hyped at the start. Like everyone was making tile accounts with him, and that usually happens a lot with unique accounts. So who knows? There's so many options still. Possibilities.
I feel like I would like to play an area locked, but I
Mhm.
don't feel like I'm constantly at battle with myself on what I would do because it sounds like fun. I think a Fremenic locked account where you have access to all the islands and all of the areas within Fremenic would be fun, but it's the setup getting to it because there's a lot of things that you have to do outside of the area to get yourself to a point where you're sustainable. Because there's no bank in the regular Fremenic province until you get to like Yatso and Nietzenat in those areas.
You could include Keldegrim. I did include Keldegrim, which has a bank.
Gotcha.
But I think the biggest problem with area locked accounts is that a lot of even like the starting grinds can be extremely grindy and repetitive, and that's definitely not for everyone. So with like the Fremenic account, you have to fish until you can fish a shark.
Yeah.
So you're just tuna fishing for like 200 hours or something.
Which you need the shark for Fremenic trials, right?
Yeah. So you basically you fish on the dock. You start with your normal net from Tutorial Island. You do you use that until 35 for tuna, and then you just do tuna and swordfish until you can do sharks, and then you have the shark for the quest. So yeah,
it's crazy.
It's very AFK, but yeah.
Like you're not actually playing the account until you can play the account. It's kind of that whole sentiment of if I did it, I don't know if I would just make it a regular account and not an Ironman. Because at that point, like you're never going to go to the GE, but you could just say like, I'm going to give myself, supply the account with what it needs, and then stay there and not really feed in any other items.
I think the beauty of area locked accounts, unique accounts, is you can do whatever you want really. Like you can give your own rules. So like people that might not have as much time can give themselves exceptions, or maybe what you mentioned, like a normal account. If that makes it so you can play an account like that and enjoy it, then that's great, I think. Mostly I hear people say like I will never do that because I don't have the time, so I just watch it.
Right.
That's what I often hear. So
yeah, you live by like you live vicariously through other people.
Yeah, right. A lot of people mention they want to try it, but they just always say I don't have the time, which I totally understand because most of these accounts are very time consuming. So
yeah. How do you feel about exceptions for your various accounts? I got to be honest, I've not watched a ton of your UIM area lock content, so I'm not sure how how it goes for things like accessing Vorkath in the Fremenic province probably isn't attainable for you, right? But when it comes to those kind of quests that drag you off the location, if only for a little bit, how does something like that kind of?
So, I think a better example is to talk about the Kremj account, because I really like that account because it had almost no exceptions. In general, I don't like exceptions. Like at all, like with accounts, I always like to use a minimal amount of exceptions to make an account work. Usually if an account has too many exceptions, I don't like it. With the Kremj account, for example, I completed Druidic Ritual for Herblore, which I think pretty much every area locked account did. And you can do that at level 3, so you go to Kremj with nothing still, you just have the quest completed. And then I think... What else did I do? I think I took a bow to Ardy once for the achievement task, and I think that's pretty much it. There was almost nothing really like huge exception wise on the Kremja. The island just really works well. Like it's really convenient. Everything. The shops all sell everything you need.
Self-contained pretty well.
I think in general, it's personal preference, right? The exceptions you make, and it also really depends on the account type you're playing. But yeah, in general, I don't like exceptions. So if an account works with almost no exceptions, that's usually my go-to.
I do actually play a pretty cool area locked account. It's called Gillinor only. I can go anywhere in Gillinor, no exceptions. It's pretty cool account.
You should make that a series.
Well, actually, you could, because like there's otherworldly, like you go to the Nozenaris, you couldn't go to the otherworldly plane. You couldn't. Wait, is there other things? I feel like those are the only two. Like basically the moon. You just can't go to the moon. No outer space locked.
No fairy rings.
No fairy rings.
No,
True.
never mind. That's horrible. That's horrible. Not
Well,
using fairy rings.
You would need to complete like Fairy Tale Part 2. You would need to go to Xanaris.
Right. So no
you can't do
rings.
any fairy rings. Oh man,
Yeah.
I couldn't do accounts without fairy rings. So useful.
Yeah.
I've been struggling because I'm so used to, again, the main where like I have the diary done. The amount of times I've gone to the fairy ring by the Tower of Life without my drama and staff. I struggle hard with Iron Man mode. The amount of times, like last night, I was doing an Iron Dragons task. I haven't done Iron Dragons in probably 4 years, and I was like, how do you even kill these things? Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know. I'm like, Dragon Hunter Lance Max Melee. Like, that's not gonna work. And now I'm like running out of death runes, and people are like, raise cats. I'm like, raise what? So Iron Man mode is rough for me, but I think that's why I kind of enjoy group Iron Man. This is definitely the only format of Iron Man mode I think I could ever play, because you talk about like the time it takes for these region locked accounts.
Yeah,
I don't have the time, and as the people on the Xpwasters know, I can do activities for like an hour max, if I don't have anything else to like distract myself. So like I'll train prayer and I'll train hunter for the duration of the recording, because that's not what I'm focused on my two accounts. But if it's like, all right, fishing for 200 hours, I don't know.
It's just the big numbers are sound scary to you. If someone tells you have to do fishing for 200 hours now, you're like, nah, I kind of want to do other stuff too. I'm good. Like I want to switch it up a bit.
I feel the same way about maxing, right? Like there's a lot of like, what kind of time do I have left for 99 mining on my main? Probably 60 hours. I don't know. Even that sounds like not enough.
No. If you're doing 90 to 99, it's like 7 million XP, and I don't know, it's probably like over 100 to 200 hours if you're doing MLM the whole time, which you probably would do. I mean,
I'll do some
volcanic mine here and there. Yeah,
I can VM.
I did 90 to 99 mining without stopping. I also did 89 to 99 rune crafting without stopping, and those were fun grinds.
But I did you use Zaya rune crafting?
Actually, so this was before Guardians of the Rift, before the Colossal Pouch. So yeah, all I did was soul runes the entire time.
It's a really nice method though, like really AFK. Once you get the muscle memory down for it, it's a lot of the time is you just mining and just standing still. So.
Yep, I did it while I was on parental leave. So we had my wife and I just had a baby, and I got 4 months off of work, and so for like 2 whole months, we were just watching TV, and I was sitting on my iPad doing rune crafting. Pretty fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah. It took 9 weeks.
9 weeks, okay. I actually wanted to ask you some questions about it, because I heard you mention you have a kid, and I'm really curious how you combine like your RuneScape and gaming stuff with, especially in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like how you balance that, I guess.
So for me, it is like RuneScape is really my only hobby. Like playing video games is my hobby. And so there's a mutual understanding with my wife and I that this is what I do to have fun, to decompress. Like this is what I want to do in my free time if we're not hanging out. And so after my son goes to bed, he goes to bed at like 6:30. And so after he goes to bed, if the wife isn't, wanting to hang out, or we're not watching TV, or if we're not doing anything, that's usually when I game. But I can also play RuneScape while I'm working, which is pretty nice. I can do AFK stuff on the side. And then, like, for instance, this morning, my son was just watching Mickey Mouse. And so I was on my iPad doing thieving. And so, like, I can do both pretty effectively because he's pretty, Do
you work at home?
I do work from home, yeah.
Okay, that's, Okay.
Yeah. He's pretty independent most of the time. Like, he's pretty chill. So when he's watching TV, it's pretty easy. I'll occasionally have to step off to like, step away to get him a snack or if he wants to wrestle, which is fun. But yeah, he's only 2. And so right now it's pretty easy. I am excited though for when he gets a bit older. Probably, I would say between like 4 and 5. I've already told my wife, like, we're getting him a PC and I'm going to teach him how to play Minecraft because he's going to be my little Minecraft buddy. Because everybody asks me, like, when are you going to get your son to start runecrafting? I'm like, RuneScape is a very complex game.
Yeah.
And
it's like a meme.
No way you're gatekeeping right now, Michael.
It's always agility of runecrafting, man.
Right. It's like, why can't this kid kill goblins if he wants to? There's nothing saying he can't, make a complete PVM account and we'll be at top when he's 6 years old. I don't know.
True.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'll get him onto RuneScape unless he's interested in it. I don't know. It's a complex game, and I think something easier like Minecraft or Roblox, is that a thing the kids play these days? Fortnite? Ugh, can't relate.
Literally anything that's not RuneScape is probably more enjoyable for a small child.
So true.
Like
my niece, since she was like a child, like a baby, I would say like maybe 4 or 5. She's had a tablet and she plays Minecraft on her tablet. And she showed me like her creative world. This girl's made so much cool stuff. So I'm sure when he's old enough, she'll also like teach him how to play Minecraft and they'll have that bond and stuff, which I'm very excited for. D4 Drake in the recording booth said 6:30. Yes. It is quite wonderful that your child goes to bed at 6:30 and sleeps until 6:30 in the morning. So he sleeps 12 hours a night, which is chef's kiss.
That's nice, yeah.
Well, actually,
I could do that.
I have to wake him up. He goes to daycare from 7:30 to 2 p.m. And so I have to like wake him up at 6:30 or else he would sleep till like 7:30 or 8. That's why he goes to bed at 6:30 so he can have some time to go to bed.
Would you say working at home helps with the whole balancing thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did work a job where I wasn't at home and I mean, I'm addicted. Let's just say it like it is. I'm addicted to RuneScape. I think a lot of people are. It's easy to feel addicted to this game, and so it's like whenever I wasn't at work, I was thinking about playing, and so now that I can get that fix, it's easier to say, yeah, I'll just take the night off. I'll take I could not play for like 3 days. I say play. I'll play at work and then not log in the evening for like I could probably do that the entire week and still feel like I'm making progress.
Yeah,
because that's the hard part.
There's a big difference between like playing RuneScape and AFKing RuneScape. Like there's a huge difference.
True. Osrs on the phone is big too. Like you can really easily multitask that with like a kid probably and work, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
are you a big mobile guy?
Well, I wasn't into recently actually because right now I have a grind coming up, woodcutting grind, and I've been playing some mobile and it's actually really nice now because they increased the AFK timers because of forestry. So I'm chopping yew trees and it's like 2 minutes of AFKing. So I've been using it quite a bit, but also for maybe the future for kit and stuff. Like I feel like the phone is gonna be pretty nice. So yeah,
mobile changed the way I play this game. I would not have been able to max my account without playing on my iPad because most of the time that I'm playing is not sitting at my desk. Like the most time that I actually played during the week is when I'm recording this podcast. So I'm playing right now. And then when I'm editing the podcast. And then if I've got the evening and I want to do some like serious gaming, that it's hard to do on my iPad, then I'll be on my computer. But most of the time I'm on my iPad, which is great. Yeah. I love it. I wish that they had more quality of life.
We were doing drunk temporos the other night, and for the first time literally ever, XP Wasters, Michael DM'd me and was like, hey, do you want to go to Tob for a night at the theater? And
he said no.
Even like it hurt me. Well, listen, I was already a shot or two deep, and we were like, Temporos was essentially top at that point.
It's entry mode.
You get intoxicated enough. I was doing Temporos on 2 accounts.
You were doing it on
I was
2
like,
accounts? Oh, no.
yeah, I was doing temp on my main because like I want 99 fishing, but like
no.
everyone in the VC was yelling at me to come on my GIM, and like, ugh. So I said whatever, and I went on the GIM too. So I just played on both accounts, and you know, when you're taking shots of whiskey in between rounds, it adds up. You know, it's a hard game to play after a little while. So there's no way I would have been able to even complete a time. Like,
hey, at least he's honest, you know.
I would have been the hard carry. That's what.
Otherwise, he'd be dying like half of the rooms.
Luckily, it would have been entry mode, so it's not like we're wiping. I still want to do it though. When you're ready, Oxie, I'm ready to get in there. I need to do, what is it, Taste of Hope for the Dragon's Medallion, and that'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
I'm a little scared.
It'll be fun.
I'm a little scared of Sins of the Father, but I think I can do it.
It's fine. Curious, by the way, how did you guys meet?
So
in short, I guess, because it might be a super long story, but
I mean, way back in the day, I know for me at least, I was sort of like, you know, just vibing. It was COVID, and I was streaming a lot. I used to stream RuneScape all the time in like 2019, 2020, and one day in like I think April of 2020, I found a streamer who had a very interesting account build. It was a diary only account. So she only trained combats to achieve, because I think like the lowest level you can achieve the diary cape is 100 combat. So she like stopped training melee after a while. Had like, what was like 68 defense or something, and only had like a total of I think 10 combat levels or 10 like attack, strength, and defense levels until she got 101 combat and broke the account.
Right.
So she really only used range and mage. And this was like before the Shadow, before the Bofa, things like that. So it was T-Bow and Sangstaff, and that was pretty much it. So I met her, got to know her, and I hung out in her stream for a bit. And then Michael was kind of like tertiarily in that community. Like I would see him on occasion at like 99 parties and like in the chat, things like that. Same thing with our buddy Scape. And one day, our buddy Scape held a charity stream, a 24-hour charity stream for testicular cancer, and Michael was a part of it. He just happened to like be in the Discord and be in the call and be active in the stream. And then from that 24-hour stream of me and Michael and Scape and a few other people here and there hanging out for, I was damn near the entire day. Like it went from like 8 to 8 or whatever it was, because I think he was going noon to noon and he's in England, so I don't remember what time it was, but I was there for probably 20 of the 24 hours, which was absolutely nuts.
Insane, dude.
I know Michael was there for a while too. And then after that, we sort of just like formed a little streamer content creator community that eventually turned into like a, you know, raids with the boys kind of Discord. And then, you know, and Michael and I have been mods of it since August of 2020. We've just sort of been like in charge, you know, running events, things like that. And then Michael hit me up and was like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, "I've listened to one podcast in my entire life, and it's a sex podcast from Barstool. So hopefully not like that, but sure, you know." And we just got going with that. So that's I suppose the abridged version, unless that's Michael, really cool. I missed anything, but
not really.
I think. I think that about sums it up.
So around COVID, when everyone's at home and everyone's playing RuneScape like crazy, and
we met through like friend of a friend in a stream, and then just sort of, you know, built what we have more or less off of that. Like we usually call the 24-hour stream the primary origin point, because that's when we all sort of like sit in VC and be in the same Discords and like you know spend time together pretty frequently. So that's when that cool. about started.
Yeah, because 2020, I started streaming, and I was also making like an Ironman from scratch series on YouTube, and that was really going nowhere. And I was putting a lot of time. I was probably putting like 20 hours a week. Felt like a part-time job, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled with that. And so I had the idea to start a podcast as sort of like a creative outlet. And Oxie and I had gotten close over that time. We started it in March of 2021. And so I had known Oxie for like, what was that, 8 or 9 months at that point. And I was like, he knows a lot about this game. I could talk to him for hours. Why not, record it and see where it goes? So that's how the podcast started.
That's awesome. Cool.
So with your chunk account, what'd you say?
I was just saying, good times with those old episodes. They used to be like 40 minutes long. And now the episodes are like, people are like rioting for the 4-hour episode. And we were like, we're going to keep it under an hour. We don't want to, people don't want to listen to us for that long. Turns out that was false.
That's a good discovery though,
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The only time it ever is like, oh my God, is when you got to edit. I think episode 99 was damn near 4 hours. And that was a slog to get through because Michael and I were
drunk,
extraordinarily drunk. It was a rough time.
Every once in a while, we'll do a drinking episode where we make drinks themed around RuneScape drinks. And so for 2 of the 3, we've done like gnome cocktail drinks. And then this last one, we made like a Sarah Dahlman brew and a super restore. They don't have to be the exact ingredients. It was just like a limoncello something, and then like
nice tasty bird nest.
Good.
And then a strawberry margarita, basically, for the super restore. It's not good.
They're not good drinks, but boy, were we.
We were slogged.
You guys were cooking that podcast.
Yep, we were cooked.
We really were.
I remember recording it, but like I'm listening back. I listened back to most of the episode. I'm like, I don't remember this. I wasn't blacked out drunk, but it was just time. Just was like, we talked for a long time. It was
time was flying. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet
it's been quite the ride. We've built a pretty solid community, I'd say. Over the last couple of years, almost a couple of months, couple of years at this point, which is weird to think about, but
Is this like the Discord? Is it like your guys' Discord from like together? Yeah, like this Discord. What is this? Is this
so you're not in Xpwaste Discord.
This is the same Discord from the 24-hour stream.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
This was we joined, I think our buddy Scape named it Team No Life because he was a big fan of Mr. No Sleep at the time. So we're like, yeah, sure, that's cool. And we just hung out in this, like, this was the streamer friend rating Discord.
Right.
And then when Xpwaste started to take off, where we're like, damn, people like want to hang out with us. They want like a Discord to join, like every other content creator has. We went back and forth when we were making our Patreon of like, do we have an exclusive Discord? But we both kind of landed on the idea that like, we'll have an exclusive Discord, but we're not going to hang out in it because none of our friends are there. So what's the point? Because I am, as you have seen from our group chats, kind of an introverted guy, and it's a little bit to talk to people I don't know. We're recording on my podcast a little bit different, but like jumping into a VC with like 8 people I've never met before,
I know that,
isn't something that appeals to me too much.
I feel that.
Yeah. So like we want to like stay with our friends, and then I don't know who it hit first or who brought the suggestion up. We're like, why don't we just bring him here? And we kind of had to shift some things around because, we had to, it was a little strange to add structure to this Discord at first.
It looks very organized. So
it is. And that the organization has been built up over the years. But when we first started, it was like anyone could do anything because nobody cared. It was just a Discord where people had like different colored names, more or less. And then we had to like add roles and structure and things like that and various VCs, and we had to make a whole Xpwaste category, and we didn't think it would get to this point that it definitely has. And we don't have like the biggest Discord in the world, but we do say we have the best for RuneScape. We have a pretty solid RuneScape community going here.
Yeah, I noticed people really like that stuff. I think about bit over a year ago, I made a like a RuneScape in-game clan because people have asked me for a long time. And I'm not really the type of guy that runs a clan and like, looks at my clan chat all day and talks to everyone while I'm playing 3 accounts and watching shows all at the same time. That doesn't really that's not really gonna work. So I always told my mods and people like I don't really want to like put so much effort into it because I just can't promise that I can read everyone's texts and like reply to everyone and like talk to everyone. But a bit over a year ago, my mods were basically saying, well, we can do everything, and you can set up the clan, and then we can like organize stuff and like take care of everything, moderate it. I was like, sure. I mean, yeah, if you guys want to do it, then I don't have to do it, so sure. And then a bit over a year ago, we set up the clan, and basically the mods are just running it for a while now. They do like little Discord events and stuff, and like
that's fun.
Raid meetups and stuff. So yeah, people really like it. I notice.
Do you partake in any of those when you have the chance, or no?
I think I have participated in some smaller stuff, but they ask me for feedback sometimes, and we like do like a weekly Discord meeting sometimes, and I ask me for feedback. But I don't always join. No, sometimes it depends what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they basically running it with a small mod team, so that was a really good solution because people were asking for it, and now they still have it. I just sometimes speak in a clan and talk to people, but not as often. So
yeah,
because I just told them I'm simply just not that clan guy, that you might expect. So
yeah, and it happens. We busy with other accounts, busy with IRL, and then it's a unique, awkward feeling when someone is like, "Oh my god, I love what you make. I love it." When it doesn't get to me, it doesn't get any less like at first. It's harmless and like it's cool. Like we said, it's a good problem to have. But I've found that only really happens like once per person when they first join or they first guest or what have you. Like there are some people that I've known and gotten to know in the community so well that I forget that they actually came from the show.
Oh, right. Ah, that's cool.
Like I don't know what I was doing. I was like cooking a couple weeks ago with some buddies in a chat. I'll throw up a cooking stream. I'll turn the camera on. We'll ball out in the kitchen for a bit. And one of the guys, because it was just him and I for a moment, he's like, "Dang, it's like I'm here with a celebrity." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, "The podcast." I'm like, "Oh shit, you're from Xpwaste." I've talked to you every day for weeks at this point. Like I forgot that was a thing, but okay, So it is a little strange at first, but I really like having the group to. I don't want to say fall back on, but I also know that like much like you, I'm not the kind of person to like respond to everything in the CC because I'm either busy or just conversation doesn't involve me. AFKing, right? Or I'll be so focused on what I'm doing. Like earlier today I missed, and this is kind of a spoiler for achievement of the week, I missed someone getting their Infernal Cape. Just like completely missed it in the CC.
Oh dang.
And like didn't look back till like half an hour later, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't GZ this guy. I didn't say anything. Like I feel like a dick.
Oh no.
Your shout out's coming later, don't worry.
Like sometimes like I'm AFKing in a game and then some guy walks by, like for example in Current Castle, like chopping use, just like watching a show or doing something more active on a different account, and they like walk by, they're like, "Oh hey, nice videos," but I don't see it, right? And then I come back to the game and then I feel so bad because there's like messages in public and I just didn't see it. I'm just standing like this guy must be like seeing me woodcut, and I'm just standing there completely ignoring him, and he's like talking to me, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah,
I always try and
that happen.
I've had people
always feels bad.
I've had people say that kind of stuff, like, "Hey, it's Michael from Xpwaste." It doesn't happen very often because like we're lesser known, and the account that I'm playing on, I haven't really talked about my GIM, so people don't know my GIM's name. But I'll see clanmates, and I'll be working, and I have the chat closed, and I try and always add them later, and like that person is offline. I'm like, I missed them, and they're not even online anymore. But I'm the complete opposite of both of you because I would say I'm an extrovert in some ways, but I'm also an introvert. But I have a enormous fear of missing out. So I have like really bad FOMO. I have to close my chat box because I'll just sit there and read messages and try and respond and have conversations. Like when I'm editing, if somebody messages me, I usually just ignore it and I feel really bad. But if I sit there and I start to message back or I have a conversation to the CC, I won't get any work done. I usually have to close my chat box.
That's why I message while I'm editing, so I don't have to work.
So that's why you do it, because you're actively trying to avoid it.
It's like you're giving yourself some nice distractions on purpose.
But
yeah, because like most of the editing process for this show, anyways, and I know it's a lot different with YouTube because I've made my fair share of shitty YouTube videos in the past. I know it's a lot more active when you're doing like a video. Unless someone says F*** like I just did right there, or someone really fumbles on something, there's not a lot of editing that actually has to be done. So I'm like getting a first-hand listen to the new episode because it's almost like you're AFKing editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Like there was a period of time when I was going for my Infernal Cape that I would be editing the podcast while in the Inferno. And then would either hide behind a pillar to like censor something or pause the podcast to kill a stack. And then just like repeat the process for what I was doing. So it's
okay. I have an editing question. Once you guys finish an episode, do you guys watch the whole thing back to check if there's any tiny mistakes or
no?
Okay.
So for us, I mean, at least for me, editing this podcast, it takes about 2 seconds for every second of the. So it takes about 2 minutes for every minute. So basically, double the time of the podcast. That's how long it takes to edit it. It can take sometimes like 6 to 8 hours to edit the podcast, and then you go back and it would another 3.5 hours just to listen to it again. I trust myself enough that I'm not going to miss anything, and then I just post it with confidence. But if it was like if it was like a 10 or 15 minute video like on YouTube, sure, I'm rewatching that bitch like 5 times.
Like I literally like when I edit a video, for example, and I'm like done editing, I recheck everything before I render the video. Then I render the video, and then it's like, I should probably check this again in case there's anything wrong. And I check it again, and it's like, oh my. So I can't I can't imagine if you have like a podcast of like 3 or 4 hours. That sounds a bit annoying to do every time. So yeah. I get that.
The beauty of podcasts as well is that most of our audience, like if you go on our YouTube, we have like 1,700 subscribers and we average like 500 views per episode because podcasts are not great for YouTube. Like YouTube does not support them nearly as well as Spotify or Apple Music does. So we have a video podcast on Spotify, but most people just turn the video off and listen.
Right.
So it's so fleeting, right? That if I were to fumble over my words or we were to miss a censor beep, which Michael, has many a time in the last 114 weeks, I think. We've been doing this.
More than that.
Episode 114.
It's episode 114, but we don't do an episode every week, so.
Well, yeah, we occasionally take some breaks, but more or less, it's been a long damn time.
2 years and 3 months. 2 years.
Yeah,
4
like
months.
people, we notice things like that because we edit the episode, so we're really into like the nitpicky stuff.
Yeah.
So like we will catch each other's mistakes and we'll catch our own. The broader audience, most of the time, doesn't. Because they're not listening for it. So
it's like
usually if we make those tiny mistakes.
It's like you're very strict on yourself, right? But most people that watch have no idea that you did something specific editing wise, or you saw a mistake at the end, but no one will even see it, when the video's live. So
absolutely.
For sure.
It's that perfectionist complex of
you
make it the best it can be. And if because I struggled with this whenever I was making my YouTube videos. Like I would spend, like I said, 20 hours a week playing and also editing the videos. And I was doing exactly what you're doing, like editing it, watching it, rewatching it, watching it again, and it got really exhausting. So,
yeah,
can't imagine. And those were only like 10 to 15 minute videos. And so yeah, with this one, it's mainly just get through it. And earlier we were talking about what editing software we use. A big part of why I feel like it would be nice to go to Adobe because they have like an AI editing tool that will go through your entire audio and pull out any dead space, and it pulls out all the ums. If we could do that, that would take like an hour or at least 2 hours off of my editing time, because most of the time all I'm doing is editing out the dead space and the ums.
I feel like I would sound so different. I would sound so strange without the ums and the pauses, because that's just like how I talk.
It's like natural, you know.
Yeah, it's very natural for me. Like there was a period of time where Michael was like, "Have you considered stopping pausing so much when you speak?" Like I remember we had this conversation. I'm like, I don't like that. It felt super weird to try to like continue my thought, because like I need a second to get my thoughts together. It's to cut out ums and likes and things like that. It wouldn't. I don't think it would work out for me too well.
Like even in some of the progress videos I make, I just include that stuff. Like when I'm explaining something or a goal, I just leave it in, because I feel like if I'm gonna cut all of that out, it's gonna be really I don't really know how to explain, but the audio's gonna sound a bit weird.
Scripted or mechanical, or
the cuts are gonna be a bit weird, I feel. Yeah. I probably say a lot, especially because I'm not like English is not my main language, so I used to struggle a lot more with it, but I feel like now it's okay. But especially in like the first few videos I made, it was horrible.
Has your English improved because of YouTube?
Oh yeah, like drastically.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Mainly from streaming, I'd say, but also from like just audio recording and video recording. When I started, I think the first couple of videos on the channel, often I would just take the audio directly from streaming. So I would record my stream, and then if I get a drop, I would just use that audio. But nowadays I always do audio post. So I put all the clips in the timeline, and then I record the audio. Unless it's a really crazy like drop and I happen to stream it and I have a live reaction and it's like not blowing out your ears, then I can maybe include it. But I usually just do audio post now, so it's very consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, my English improved a lot from streaming the most. I'm just
That's
like
super cool.
Because the reason I know why is because when I first started streaming, someone would ask a question in the chat, and I would read the question, and in my head I would have to first translate it, think of an answer, think of the words, and then reply. And now if someone asks me a question, I can just instantly reply without even thinking. It just goes automatically. So
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
What is your native language?
I'm from the Netherlands, Dutch.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And did you speak a lot of English? I mean, like, did you learn English in school? Is that how you started speaking English?
Like the basic English. And then playing RuneScape actually teach me a lot of English too. Just simple things like trees and just tinderbox or rock, whatever. Like just simple words. You really easily learn them because of RuneScape. So I'd say that also helped me a lot early on.
That's awesome.
How many language translations does this game have? Like, how many full translations does RuneScape have?
Does it have any?
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. So, like...
Oh, wait. I know back in the day...
Could the game be translated to Dutch for you? Or is not like does RuneScape have other translations?
I believe they had like a full German server and Portuguese server, right? That was a thing pre-OC.
I know they have a German server on Old School, but I don't know if they've got Portuguese.
They literally had like worlds where every item drop and every boss and every name was in German or Portuguese.
Oh, that's
a real thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I used to like do bundles with my buddies back in the day on Skype, and then we would get like a bundle status, and it would say like some German like crazy word like pens in German. It's some crazy word. So I remember like we would see like a drop, right? But we wouldn't know what it was. We would
That's
just see
hilarious.
value. Like you would see like, because we used to have like coin sharing, or item sharing, and it would show up like drop 18 mil, and then we didn't know what it was. It was like, okay, we got 18 mil, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the easiest way to
hilarious.
scam people at the Grand Exchange. We're like, oh, that's not anything valuable. Here's 1K for it. And just, Armadillo Godsword doesn't translate very well. So,
But I would not want to play RuneScape in Dutch. It's just no for me.
Really?
yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
It's
Like,
not as nostalgic.
if there's like any Dutch viewers, for example, if you translate certain words, it just sounds ridiculously weird. Like King Black Dragon means Koning Zwarte Draak. It just like, look, if you translate a lot of RuneScape words into Dutch, it just sounds weird. It's just
like the
all-
direct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like all Dutch people agree with this too for the most part, because I've talked about this in a stream before, and it just sounds weird. Like quests, like translating quests directly in Dutch sound ridiculous. So
Oh.
if you take an English word, you translate it directly into Dutch word. So if a quest has like multiple English words, you make it a Dutch sentence. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess it's really weird. Or maybe because I'm Dutch, it's weird, but I think a lot of people agree with that. So,
We have one of our clan higher ups, one of our good buddies, Jesse, is also speaks Dutch as a first language, and he never ever uses it. No text in Dutch.
Nope.
We only hear him speak it when he speaks to his family over the microphone. So I can, I can imagine that it might be a bit of a weird translation.
It's like we are so used to talking English in Discord and stream, my YouTube videos, comments, whatever. It's just kind of the norm,
Yeah.
So unless you specifically stream in Dutch, I feel like a lot of Dutch people just know they should talk English online to everyone, So talking Dutch is really random, I guess. Feels very random.
Do you use Dutch a lot in your like everyday life outside of what you do for a living?
I mean, I talk with my fiance in Dutch and my friends, but that's it. I feel
Gotcha.
like, I think if I have a good streaming week, I probably speak way more English on a regular day than Dutch. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
I think that's it's weird to say, but I think that's the norm for most like international jobs, if that makes sense. Because like yeah, obviously you're not traveling abroad all the time for streaming, but you're reaching anyone on the globe. And from my understanding, for various, like, I've met people who have like university jobs in international spaces, and the default language is English. They'll come from all over the world, all over, European Union, Asia, whatever, and it will just all be in English, because that's like everybody has some understanding, and everybody can kind of verbally connect and, read and write more or less. So
you get so
shout out
used
to
to it.
England. Yeah. Which is the exact opposite of Michael and I's daily life. We would not be used to speaking a foreign language at all.
I'm
I could kind of
trying.
pick up Italian after a little while, but I need to be immersed in it to truly understand it. So
I'm trying to learn Spanish. It's it's not going very well.
What are your guys' day-to-day jobs? What do you guys do for a living?
I just do email support for a company.
Okay.
No, I am a therapist for people, well, kids in the juvenile justice system in the town that I work at. So, yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
I mean, listen, you ever work with teenagers?
Yeah,
the little bastards really keep you on your toes.
That's true.
They're not bad kids. They're in the justice system because they're stupid and they got caught being stupid. The difference truly is between like them and us as teenagers is we were dumb but didn't get caught, or we were dumb and got in trouble by our parents, and our parents had the mindset of like, I'm worse than the law kind of thing. At least that's how my parents were. Like my dad, because I did my fair share of dumb shit, and my dad would never have pressed charges because he's like, I'll deal with you myself kind of deal. Not in like a bad, like abusive way, but he's got a control thing. He wants to be in control of what happens. So he would never like.
He didn't want to
like,
punish you that badly, I guess.
Well, I mean, he would yell sometimes. Like there were times. It's mostly when I did something like extremely unsafe that he would get like really mad about stuff like that.
He was concerned.
So exactly, yeah. And my kids aren't bad, but they're bastards. they're teenagers. They have a way of pushing every button you didn't even know you had. It's I love them to death, but they certainly can be frustrating in just how they are, which isn't a fault of them, and it's not a criminal behavior thing. It's an adolescent behavior thing. Like any teenager on Earth is going to do that.
Yeah.
So
natural.
But no, they definitely keep me on my toes. And our summer schedule has been wonky as hell. So like I'm a clinical therapist. I got my license. I've got, all sorts of like formalities and things like that I have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like going on outings and shit. So like we went to a cider mill on Friday, I'm one half, how does that make you feel? Tell me about your trauma. Other half, don't stick your hand in the camel's mouth. Idiot kid. Like I'm kind of all over the place with work. It just depends on the day, but
that's hilarious. So you're kind of like a babysitter, but also there's a mentor. And
it's like my main job is therapist. My side job is like teacher / like. For a while, I was like the fun uncle, but now we've had a lot of staff turnover. So I have to be like the stepdad, and that's not as fun,
Poor kids.
Yeah,
so
I imagine it's pretty it can be pretty like mentally taxing, the work.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of days where I'm like, I'm just gonna go get myself an iced coffee after work because I need something to like mentally separate myself from the day, and I have chosen absurdly expensive, ridiculous coffees as my way to do that, to like mentally know that like we're not at work anymore. And those are also days where like I'm not super active in the CC. Like I'm not the guy to talk to in VC or
you're
clan
just chilling,
chat. Like
after work, you're just chilling,
like
totally full relaxing, Yeah, that's important.
My chat's open to like filtered game, and I don't talk to like anybody.
Full
so,
introvert
like,
mode,
Exactly, full introvert. Yeah. My friends' chat switched to off, on all my accounts or whatever.
Iron Otis in the recording food chat said, "Iced coffee is cheaper than drugs." Here, brother.
Depends on the kind of coffee you're getting.
Verf, I do have a question. If we can get back to RuneScape, I appreciate the.
Yeah. Is that what we're here to talk about?
I guess, but so you talk about your chunk account. And that's kind of the meat. I feel like what you've been the meat of what you've been doing the last couple of years. And recently, but within the last couple of weeks, you've finished your first chunk, which applaud.
Yep.
Like round of applause for that, because like holy smokes.
I think I messaged you guys, right? Like right after I finished that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You greenlogged Sarachnis, which is I didn't even know Sarachnis was in the first chunk. For me, I didn't know you get to the Forthos dungeons through.
I had no idea either until I started the chunk. So.
That's crazy, bro. Like
it's a really weird like dungeon connection.
Yeah, I know. I would have just said, "Hey guys, that's not in my chunk," and then moved on. That's crazy. So greenlogged Sarachnis, and then you greenlogged, what is it? Skotizo.
Skotizo, yeah.
So I don't know if you have like a summary of that whole experience, but it was like 2 years.
Ooh. Yeah, it was nearly 2 years. So I was never planning to make the account actually like an extreme one chunk account, but one day I was streaming and I talked about how I really liked Limpord's account and the whole like grindiness of it, because that really fits me as well, like how I like to play the game because of like the area lock stuff I've done, some other accounts I've played. So I mentioned in chat, I really wanted to play an account like that, but I didn't want to do the exact same thing. And I also looked at some areas and nothing really like interested me. But a viewer then mentioned the Current Castle chunk. And then that same stream, we looked into that chunk, like looked at all the options. Is it possible, realistic? How many exceptions do I have to make? You know, all that stuff. And then I made the account the same day, and I'm still playing it right now. So that's actually how I made that account.
That's crazy.
Nice.
So it's all from the stream. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then
you know someone out there is like, I'm the reason Verf started that account.
I know.
It's all me.
Yeah, like it was literally a chat suggestion, and that same day I decided to look into it. So, and then I played with the exact same rules as Limpert. I knew exactly what to do once I figured everything out. We did like all the brainstorming together, because that's what I really like about this account. Once I roll new chunks or get to new areas, we can kind of look at what I can do next on the account. Really like brainstorm together with the chat. So I knew I had a lot of really tough grinds to do.
Yeah.
But I was really like, I was super high, like really excited starting a new account. I always really loved the beginning stage of an account. Everything is super exciting because with ironmen in general, but especially I feel like that's why I really like these unique accounts. It's just everything feels super rewarding. Every little drop, like I was getting excited over mythical swords from moss shines and things like that. That felt like huge upgrades. So
yeah.
I was just slowly working on the goals. And then at some point I only had Scotizo left, and all I was doing was kill hill giants. And I ended up killing 516,000 hill giants in total to get totems to kill Scotizo. But at some point Jagex changed the Jar of Darkness. I don't know if you guys saw that. But they did a quality of life update at some point, and they proposed the Jar of Darkness change, which really that was really bad for me, because at first I didn't have to go for it because it's considered a meme item, which means it's so ridiculously rare and time consuming that it's basically just not feasible for an account like this. I think it would take roughly like 15 or 20,000 hours for me to get it to hit the drop rate like at first. So I didn't go for it, obviously, because that's a little too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jagex proposed the change. They proposed it to 1 and 200, and I kind of had to go for it at that point.
Oh,
because
no.
I think it on average it turned out to be a 1 in like 1100 hours for me to get the drop, which is still a lot, but I knew it was possible, so I kind of forced myself to do it, and I really wanted to get it too. So yeah, I killed like hill giants for a year or something, and that's all I did to complete that goal, to complete the chunk, because Scotizo was the final like big obstacle of that account at that point. So all I was doing was kill hill giants, collect the dark totems, kill Scotizo, and hope for the drop. So that's kind of how all that happened.
Would you ever stack totems, or did you just do them one at a time?
Sometimes I would like switch it up, because I also use at the beginning I would stream hill giants for I think 3 months in a row, just streaming it every single day, and I think I stacked 30 totems. But then at some point, I believe after they changed the jar to 1 and 200, I kind of wanted to use it more separately in case I got lucky.
Yeah.
Like I would like switch it up. Yeah.
Because you could go 3 months of stacking totems, and then it takes you like 2 or 3. You really never
know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't really want to risk that. So I think at some point I did stacks of 5 or 10, I believe. Also, I would often just use them on a specific day, so I could give the stream some other content than hill giants. That I'd have something to look forward to, killing some Scotizo.
Yeah.
I would switch it up a lot.
How long did a Scotizo kill take you?
I think the average time for a kill was about 15 minutes of prey flicking. Yeah.
And then the prep time, right? You have to like prep for after each kill, go back and prep again. It's crazy.
Like the time it took to get one totem on average was about 4.5 to 5 hours. So 5 hours of killing hill giants to get one totem, and then I could do 1 kill basically. So on a good day, I would usually get around 2 full totems with good RNG.
Wow.
So yeah, knowing that I had to go for a 1 in 200 jar was very scary. Because you can go really dry on items. I think we've all been really dry on something like 4 times on the raid. It happens pretty often, more than you think. So that was always in the back of my mind. Like, this could literally take me 2 more years of me getting hill giants because I just can't get this one drop. That didn't happen, luckily, but
yeah, it's crazy how long it took you. Like what, it was like 406, like 416, right? Or 460 or something for the jar? 460 KC?
It was 423. Yeah. 423 kills, yeah. And 209 of those kills were done before they changed the jar. So, when the jar, the 1 in 200 change came into the game, I've already done 209 kills. So
damn, I didn't realize that.
What?
What
rank are you for the UIM high scores for Skatizo?
He's not a UIM on that account.
Yeah, I'm a regular Iron on that account. Don't worry, I'm not an ultimate on every account. I think
I thought it was the one chunk extreme UIM. I'm like, dude, are you okay?
No, yeah, that account.
I just keep thinking back. You're like, this is the account I play for fun. I'm like,
yeah, don't worry. People often confuse accounts or just they can't keep up anymore. I also really like multitask all the accounts, so I think I ended up being ranked 27 when I got the jar. Which a lot of people were like commenting things like, oh, you must be like top page or rank 1, like rank 5. But you have to remember that people are doing Slayer all day, and Slayer is extremely good for totem pieces.
Yeah.
And I don't have that, so but yeah,
right,
27.
How many more kills do you need for rank 25?
I think I needed like 40 more, I believe it was, to get top page at the time of getting the jar. But yeah, that's still a lot of kills from just getting hill giants though, and no cannon, nothing, just whacking hill giants all day, just getting the totem pieces.
I think the thing that was most crazy when I heard you say it was you had like 4,000 hill giant or like Obor keys, and that's not even close to rank 1. 4,000. Like, who out there has more than 4,000 kills at Obor?
It's
crazy.
There's actually free-to-play ironmen free-to-play ironmen often kill hill giants for training, and that's some pretty crazy free-to-play ironmen out in the community. Someone called Tanner Dino, he has done 200 mil attack in free-to-play, and he has killed a lot of that is killed by doing hill giants, and I think he might be rank 1 Ober. Or rank 2. I don't remember. I think he's rank 1, but he did that completely in free to play.
Wow.
So there's even more crazy people that do more hill giants than me.
It blows my mind.
I think it speaks to your ability as a streamer and a content creator to be able to live stream doing nothing but hill giants for 3 months and people still show up every stream.
Like, is that that was very surprising, yes.
Yeah, I think, because I know if Michael and I try to do that, we're like, all right, guys, Xpwaste is going live on YouTube. Michael's going to kill hill giants for 6 hours.
Well,
would not.
Look.
People would not come through. So I think it speaks to your, like,
I have some pretty good advice for people that want to get into streaming. And actually, one mistake I made when I started streaming, kind of what we are talking about right now, when I started streaming, I would always try to stream the PVMing, right? Because in my mind, the PVMing was the most exciting thing to watch for viewers. So more people would tune in and, I would get more viewers, blah, blah, blah. That was kind of my mindset. And I never streamed skilling because I thought everyone hates skilling. No one wants to watch me sit and do skilling. But then I actually decided to stream the skilling one day, and it were my most watched streams. And since then, I always tell people, like, just stream whatever you want to do on stream, whatever you're comfortable with. Maybe you have really great conversations during skilling and more people tune in. You can build a community like that. So just stream whatever you feel like streaming. Don't try to stream what you think is exciting to people, because it might be the other way around. Like, people might enjoy your skilling content, so you might be missing out on a lot of potentially good streams.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had that problem when I started learning Tob. I really wanted to stream it, back when I was still streaming a little bit, and I noticed that, like, I wouldn't retain viewers for very long because I normally have a very chatty, very social stream, but like when I was learning theater, I was like sweating and shaking at Nihilate Room, so I couldn't really like glance over to look at chat. Nowadays it's a little bit different. I'm comfortable enough with the raid where like I could do it, but when I wasn't like talking to people doing the activities, it was really rough for everyone. I feel like me and the audience, because like you talk to the same people in stream over and over again, and then suddenly you just don't for a whole day.
It's rough.
Not fun.
Yeah.
That said, though, Michael's never going to PVM on stream ever again after that. He's going to be like, oh, dude, Verf said skilling's the way to go, baby. We're never PVM.
I think you're absolutely right.
Look,
like, you stream what is interesting for you, and people are going to gravitate towards that. Because I think people who watch streams can tell if somebody is not having a good time, like, they're just not going to be interested. If you are forcing yourself to do something and you're not having a good time doing it, it's kind of off-putting. So if you enjoy woodcutting, stream yourself woodcutting because you're having a hella good time doing it.
Well, I think if you're not enjoying something, it kind of helps with how you interact with the people that are there. Like going for my fighter torso on my main account 4 years ago was a miserable experience. Barbarian Assault with randos is hell on earth.
Good.
Learning Zulrah for the first time on stream was hell on earth. Like, it was frustrating. I was not having a good time.
Yeah.
But it's how you interact with the people while you're not having a good time. If you're all kind of memeing on your own misery, I think people, at least in my experience, enjoyed that quite a bit.
I agree.
Like, the amount of Oxie can't kill Zulrah memes that came from me learning that content. Did I just splash on a chin? I accidentally misclicked the chin, and I hit a 0, and it kept on going. I've never seen that before. But anyways, I think that's why I say I think it speaks a lot to you as a person and as a streamer, because if you can't hold half-decent conversations while doing just insanely boring shit on stream, people aren't going to show up. So
to add on to that a little bit, with the Hill Giants, at some point I did take a break from streaming because I just personally didn't enjoy streaming Hill Giants anymore. And the biggest reason for that is because I got the same 5 questions on repeat, like non-stop. I would go live, I would answer a specific question, and then like 5 seconds later, a new person would join the stream and would ask the exact same question. And it was like the whole stream was like that, basically for hours. And doing that for a few weeks, it was really difficult.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. So at some point, I basically collected the totems off stream, and then I did big Scotizo streams like weekly, and just streamed that. So the whole stream was focused on Scotizo, not me just killing Hill Giants. So that helped a little bit.
Dare I ask what the questions were?
I mean, you can guess. What do you think was the number one question?
What are you like? Why are you doing this?
Why are you still doing this?
I got that one sometimes.
How many Hill Giants have you killed? Yep. How dry are you? What chunk are you moving to next?
So the most famous one was when are you gonna use your totems?
Really?
And I would have it on screen. Like sometimes I would have a command on stream. Like I will use my totems when I have 10, or I have 9 out of 10 totems, or I'm stacking totems until 30, and then people would join the stream and they would be like, "Hey, how many totems do you have?" And then I would literally have my bank open, and then they say like, when are you gonna use the totems? And yeah, it was like that on repeat too. And I felt bad because I really wanted to stream Scotizo because that's what people, were looking forward to and wanted me to do. But I was just killing Hill Giants, and sometimes I would not get a totem piece for like 3 or 4 hours, and I would just sit there not getting anything, and I wouldn't be able to do Scotizo sometimes, and it felt really bad. So I wanted to take a break. That's like basically why I took a break too. But yeah, I mean, I always tell people with my streaming content, look, I'm playing this stupid account, I'm doing these stupid grinds. If you want to watch and see me do it, cool. I'm streaming because it helps me keep myself busy while doing this. And I talk to you guys, I have a good time, right? I don't expect everyone to like enjoy me seeing me kill Hill Giants for months, right? I was always like memeing about it basically. And then now it's like we miss Hill Giants, like it's like we miss Hill Giant content. So,
will you ever go back? Is there anything you need from Hill Giants? I mean, skilling supplies, or
maybe like a champion scroll or something. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna.
You didn't get the champion scroll?
I can't actually because you need 32 quest points. so I can't get them
Oh,
yet.
man.
Yeah, otherwise I would have like 100 champion scrolls in the bank.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, dude.
I get that question a lot
brutal.
too. It's like, what other question that I get a lot? Like sometimes people would literally ask me, like I would be killing Scotizo and people would ask me like, why don't you use an arc light? It's a valid question, right?
Yeah.
You see this random guy just like cudgeling Scotizo with like a rune chain body and dragon plate legs. It can be pretty confusing.
And it's hard too, because like there's only so much screen that you can like real estate on your screen. So you can't have like words like I'm locked to a chunk or
Right, yeah.
You spend a lot of time explaining yourself.
I had like a rules comment and like a account comment and stuff like that. But I don't mind answering the same questions. It's kind of like that's just streaming in general. You kind of get used to it. But with the Hill Giants, it was so extreme because I was doing it for so long, like a year. It's kind of that's a long time. Right now, like now I'm out of the chunk, right? So I'm getting new chunks, I'm getting new content, and I can tell that people really enjoy that because it's just I'm not constantly doing the same thing. I would have people join the stream. They would like join the stream and they're like, "Oh my god, you're still doing this? Like I was here 4 months ago and you're doing the exact same thing, right?" So yeah, I don't get that anymore now, so that's nice.
Okay,
now you get the opposite. Like, when are you going back to Hill Giants?
Going back. I do have a question. As far as Hill Giants go, did you do like a bunch of theory crafting and research into what is the best monster that you could have killed on repeat? Because there's a lot of different things in
because I knew I had to put in hundreds of hours, right? Killing one NPC for totem pieces. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right. I picked the best monster. And Hill Giants are just so the way like totem pieces drop rates work in Catacombs are really weird because it's like based on it's the combat level of it's 500 base value minus the hit points of the monster. That's the rate of the totem piece for a monster in the Catacombs. So like a Hill Giant is I think level 35. So 500 minus 35 totem pieces with 1 in 465 base chance killing Hill Giants, not doing Slayer, whatever. So if you compare that to like a Black Demon, for example, which are really tough to kill, you're better off killing like 3 Hill Giants in the same time or 2 Hill Giants. So it basically the lowest combat monsters in the Catacombs were the best monsters to kill for totem pieces. And I only really had 2 options, Skeletons and Hill Giants. And Hill Giants were just the most conveniently placed, like altogether. I didn't really have to world hop or like run big distances to get all the kills. So it was really pretty easy to figure out that Hill Giants were the way to go for the fastest totem pieces.
Yeah.
Did you? I imagine you saved a majority of the supplies for future stuff, or
I banked most of the items from Hill Giants.
Because like you had like 70 crafting banked just in gems.
Yeah. A lot of those were from just killing Hill Giants, just picking up the uncut sapphires and stuff. And I had a lot of runes and picked up the herbs and stuff. I basically only left like the basic seeds, like potato seeds, onion seeds, and like iron kite shields, things like that.
So do you foresee
the stuff you really don't need?
Do you foresee yourself getting out of Zaya, like at any point in the future? Because I know that you have a bunch of long bones. I don't know if you would be able to use them because that would be insane.
Oh man,
you have all those Obor keys. You're going chunks at a time, so eventually you could get somewhere, but it's going to take a while.
It is, I really hope I get to Obor sooner than later, but it's pretty far away, obviously. But I don't know if you guys watched the last video where I rolled the chunks, but I am like, if I roll one more chunk east, I have a way to get to Port Sarim next because I unlocked the port, and that guy can bring you to Port Sarim. So basically, well, technically in 2 chunk rolls I could be in Port Sarim. So yeah, it is possible to get off the island.
Yeah, and then from Port Sarim, it's like what, northeast of you're all the mainland of Mistland.
Falador. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like in the middle, like middle-ish. Like a lot of I can go to Falador, Farrock, Lumbridge. But yeah, still.
Or you roll a meme chunk.
If you unlock Port Sarim, you can do sailing on day 1.
Oh, no way.
You could just sit in the water at Port Sarim.
We can roll ocean chunks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting because I haven't really recently watched the like new sailing videos, but I wonder how sailing will like turn out for like chunk accounts. We've talked a little bit about it in the smaller chunk communities. Like we've talked about it together. Like how are we gonna? I don't have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I assume we can just roll like ocean chunks, even if there's nothing. If we can like sail there, then yeah, it's a rollable chunk. I think that would make the most sense.
I think a sailing locked account would be a lot of fun when it first comes out. But depending on the other requirements of like if you need other skills, but like an ocean locked, a boat locked account would be really, really cool.
I think port locked is probably the best way to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like those accounts surely already exist, right?
I was thinking maybe doing a sailing ultimate Ironman if it makes sense to do. But I don't know how the skill's gonna look completely. But that's I think I will do that if it makes sense.
Yeah.
When the sailing comes out.
You gotta capitalize not only on the newness of the skill and like the people's excitement, but also playing that it's old school's first new skill. So like locking yourself out of that just to play another account seems like, you know, kind of boring.
And I can play it while playing like the chunk account.
Sure.
So
yeah,
maybe if sailing makes sense for a locked account, then yeah, I think it will be pretty cool.
So you're doing your chunk account, and right now, if I remember correctly from your video, like your goals right now are 95 fletching, and you're getting close to your crafting goal, which is like 77 or something.
Yep.
So how long do you foresee that taking? Like, have you done the math for XP per hour and stuff?
Yeah. So I think tomorrow I'm going to finish crafting, and I'm finishing magic in about 20 minutes from now. So that's almost done. I'm doing some magic the last bit of magic right now. And after that, it's just fletching. And I think fletching is going to take somewhere between 1 and 2 months.
Damn.
Depends how much mobile I do as well. And I can basically choose between AFKing willows and yew trees. Willows are slightly faster, but yew trees is more AFK. So I can kind of balance it, I think. But I think between 1 and 2 months, so not too bad.
You just going to cut the unstrung bows and do that to 95, or?
Yeah, just chop logs and fletch them because I don't have a way to like string bows, make bowstrings yet. So it's just AFK fletching basically. Yeah.
It is kind of crazy. Like as far as the whole theory crafting the account. So you unlocked the Hostidius, like the market, and in one of the general stores was a knife, and so that sparked an entirely new grind because technically there's no like dragon arrow or like dragon dart tip or dragon arrow tip spawn, or like you can't buy it.
Right.
But since you got it from another monster, that's suddenly something that you have to do. Like, did you dread that? You're like, man, I got a dragon arrow tip. Now I have to make this someday.
So, after because the first chunk was so RNG depending, because I was just getting hill giants and hoping for the last drops, and Seracnus as well, like basically all the big goals in the first chunk were super RNG, like Visage, Smoldering Stone, like pets, right? Now it's like skilling. So I knew like fletching was coming very soon because I think I had like 3 ways of getting a knife. I so happened to get it in Hostidius, but another way, for example, for me to get the knife was from baby implings in Puro. And that would also unlock the same grind, the same fletching grind.
Yeah.
But the thing is with fletching, I knew those grinds were coming, but it's really nice because it's so AFK and I'm not depending on a crazy rare item. So I'm just kind of AFKing, you know. It's a lot more relaxing to play right now because I can watch a show, play other accounts a lot easier. I knew it was coming, but I was actually pretty excited for it after doing hill giants for so long.
That makes total sense. Like it's a guarantee. Like it's the difference between a guaranteed drop. So, for instance, if you're going for Vorkath and you're like, I just need the head. If you don't get it on the way to 50, you know you can stop at 50. Versus you're waiting for like something else that could be like a 1 in 1,000. Like it could happen now, or it could happen a lot from like a long time from now.
Yeah, the beauty of RNG, right?
Yep. Yeah. So like you literally just have to put your head down, get to 95, and then you're done. Versus, you're like, I could be here for another 2 years, which sounds crazy to say, but like you did it. You did 2 years of a grind.
And I really like to calculate my best XP methods, and we can figure out on stream. I usually talk with people on stream, like, do you guys have any ideas to make it faster? We can kind of brainstorm together. And once I figure out the best methods, I know exactly how long it takes, and I just have to put in the hours to finish the chunk. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of downtime too. So then you're theory crafting. I caught the end of your stream today, and you were talking about, I don't know if it was the end of it, but you were talking about all the banks in the area that you're in. And you're like, if I roll this chunk, this has a mining spot. But if I roll this chunk before, this has a bank that's right next to the mining spot. So then it makes your grind, like the entire progression of the account changes based on when you unlock certain chunks.
And that's what I like about this account a lot more than the area locked account, because this has so much. It's kind of like you're kind of spinning a wheel, right? With the chunk rolls, you don't know what you're gonna get, and I really like that. Like, I can prepare completely for what's next on the account. That's what I absolutely love about the account. Because on the Kremj account, I could literally start the account, and on the same day, after 12 hours of theory crafting and brainstorming, you have the whole path of the account from start to finish. I can't do that right now. Like, I don't know what's gonna be next. So sometimes it's fun to like brainstorm on stream together. Like, someone would mention like, hey, if you get this, does that mean you have to do this? And then you kind of open a map and like show what's possible. And if I get this combination of specific chunks, I have to do this. And if I don't get that, then this will be a lot slower. So we kind of look at it like that sometimes.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
And it seems like if that's, because I know that's what you find enjoyable, I feel like, is less the gameplay, because like you might find 200 hours of fishing enjoyable, to each their own, but I feel like the fun comes from the like, I figured it out, right? That like eureka, I got it kind of moment. And when you can do that more and more and more frequently as you unlock more of the map, I feel like that gives the satisfaction that you're looking for,
It's that, but also just completing big grinds in general is what I really like to do. That's why I keep giving myself harder challenges, because it's just I'm looking for something fulfilling, I guess. So I'm looking for, like, the reason I started in the chunk I started in, because I knew it was going to be really difficult, because there's so many big items to go for, and I just kind of keep testing myself, I guess. It's always really hard to explain this, but when I make accounts, it's really, like, the whole challenge part is what I enjoy a lot. So just doing, it's I don't really know how to explain it. You guys can maybe cut this out, but
I mean, no, I get it. It's like it's not. I understand what you're talking about, though. The feeling of accomplishment is better than any, like,
It's like the journey. The journey is more important than the end goal. More right. That's kind of the because the whole like hill giant journey, for example. Usually when I go really dry on something, it's like you really remember that grind, right? That's what sticks, the whole journey towards that item. I have the jar now, and I don't even look at it anymore in the bank. It's just sitting there. Like, I got the item, and I can move on, right? But the whole journey is what mattered on that account. So that's kind of what it's about, more than actually getting the drop.
What do you think? What do you think in your life, like, got you to that point where this is the mindset? Like, were you competitive as a kid? Did you play sports or do anything like that?
I really like that question. Sometimes people ask that, like, people don't always ask it, but I sometimes have to ask myself, like, where does it actually come from? But I think it's just, you just kind of have it or not, but you can kind of build it too. Because I noticed over the years doing content creation and playing all these Runescape accounts, is that I kind of just give myself new challenges that are like more difficult than the previous ones. So I kind of build the patience for the things I do. But I do think that when I was younger, I was really interested in, like, for example, one sport I always did was skateboarding, and it's also very repetitive. Like, you just keep trying to learn the trick, and you just kind of grind until you get it. Like, you go out on the street every day, and it sometimes takes months.
Because you're grinding on the.
I see what you did there. But I think maybe it was always kind of. I always kind of like to have that mindset on things, and I in general I'm very competitive with, like, even just random family games or something, or when I hang out with friends and we do like play a game. I want to be really good at the game instantly. Like, recently I got into Mario Kart. I've never played Mario Kart in my life, or any Mario game.
Yeah.
And recently I've been playing Mario with my friend, and we're doing online Mario, and I just really want to get good, like really fast. So I'm diving into like videos, I'm watching like speed running videos of those specific levels I'm playing to know what are the optimal routes to take, like things like that.
Mario Kart is crazy. Like when we played as a kid, like you would just choose a racer and they came with a car, and there was no like, min-maxing anything. But now Mario Kart 8, you can like choose the wheels, you can choose your parachute, what chassis you have, what type of car.
Yeah.
It changes the entire outcome. I never know what to do, so I just go with whatever looks cool.
Yeah. I guess in general I'm pretty competitive, which helps with RuneScape. And
yeah. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that like you mentioned skateboarding. That's real life example. That's exactly what you're doing now. Like the monotony and the repetitiveness of learning a trick is the journey. Once you do the trick, you're moving on. Like you do it once, you're like, I'm done. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can do it now. I can do it now. It's no big deal anymore. Like you do it, it's not like every time you do the trick, it's like, oh my god, I just landed this trick, right? It's the first time you land a new trick is like you get that like wall like hype, like the wall. It paid off. I practiced for this a lot, and yeah. It's kind
of greenlog the boss, you move on. You never think about it.
Exactly.
You never. It's like, it's crazy how that like directly correlates to how you play this game. Just that small thing.
Yeah. Maybe cool. The skateboarding influenced the way I play RuneScape. Who knows?
I absolutely think so. Absolutely.
You should get back on a skateboard and see maybe the RuneScape has influenced the skateboarding. Who knows?
I think it's just like the general mindset to have with like getting into new things or things you're already doing. At least, like for example, my brother is completely opposite. Like he is not competitive at all. He doesn't really has that drive to get like, he doesn't have that same drive. He really enjoys it, but he just enjoys like skating with friends, for example. But he's not really focused on just like forcing himself to land a specific trick. He just kind of naturally learns stuff on the way. Like maybe people teach him some stuff, or he doesn't like continues until he lands a single trick. Like sometimes I would go out and just do nothing but try that trick until I get it for like weeks. So I think it's somewhat similar to RuneScape in a way.
Yeah.
You said you've kind of practiced that mentality. How do you practice?
Right. So
as a creator, as a player, how do you practice the like, I want this bad enough, I'm going to do it come hell or high water? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that exact thing. Like, yeah, it sounds good on paper, but not trying to shame them like, oh, you don't want it enough, but like, I would like a mutagen. That would be super cool. I do not want it bad enough to only do Zulrah for a month,
I usually explain that well, for example, when I first started playing RuneScape, I didn't instantly go for and kill 500 kill giants, right? Like I just kind of build up the things I did. Like I started with a regular count, transitioned into a normal ironman, did an ultimate ironman. That's like natural progression, right? For grinds. Okay, so one easy way I tell people to do is sometimes people say like, oh, they make an account and they want to max. It's just not realistic. If they make an account and their goals to max, it's just not realistic. So what helps me is to split a goal up into smaller goals. For example, with my chunk account, I started the chunk, and like if I would see that full list of items, right? And I'm thinking, oh my god, there's some things I might never get. So I just split up all the goals into smaller portions and just worked on those smaller portions. That's usually what helps me complete big goals. For example, with maxing, you can set yourself a goal to get base 70 or to do a specific skill you enjoy first, like the most, because it's easier. Like you kind of have to. That's kind of how I look at those big grinds. You split it up into smaller sections. That's one thing that helped me a lot. Let's see what else helps a lot. I mean, obviously, don't force yourself to do something. I see a lot of people that play RuneScape that like they want to max so bad that they force themselves to do a skill they absolutely hate doing.
Are you suggesting someone who's trying to max might lock themselves to a piece of content and not come with other people to do content? Who would do that?
Not me. Can't be me.
it's an easy way to burn out faster. You don't want that, right? So it's better to do some, like, maybe there's like 5 ways to do a skill. Pick the method you enjoy the most, even if it's like really shitty XP. It's all about consistency. So it's better to do something consistent and get to that 99 than force yourself to do a shitty minigame or a way to train a skill or 3-tick manipulate or whatever. If you're not into that stuff, just don't do it. Like, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot too. Yeah, I guess that's what I usually tell people. Like, if you don't want to do something, then don't do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Very much like you can have the desire to do something and have the desire to achieve something without making it the only thing that you do. Without making it.
Yeah, variety is good, right? So,
yeah,
like switching it up is good.
Did you hop around a lot in the beginning? Whenever you had a lot of stuff to do within those chunks, because I know that you had Syrachnus and Scotizo to Greenlog.
Yeah, I would like kind of switch it up because it's also I also found it nicer for the viewer experience on YouTube. I would like do a little bit of Syrachnus on stream, for example, or YouTube, and then I would work on this like other goal for a little bit. I think at the start I was switching up Hill Giants, Iron Dragons, and Syrachnus. I was switching those 3 things up on a daily basis.
Oh, because you had to get the Visi too. I didn't even realize that. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Oh, what was the drop rate? Do you remember what the drop rate from Iron Dragons is? Is it still crazy? Like,
it's 1 in 10k. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I got the Visi on around 13,000, so 3,000 above the drop rate, roughly.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but
it's not great, but it's not terrible.
But was that 99 prayer though? With all the bones?
I just buried the bones, so that's only 720k XP.
What? 13,000 bones? Didn't even get you like 75?
Yeah, like 70 something XP. So 10k bones, 13k bones. It's like a mil XP.
That's insane, dude. That's insane.
But yeah, it definitely helped me to switch up the grinds a bit. Like, I would kill Hill Giants for a few hours, then I think I would usually do dragons in the mornings before I started stream, because in the mornings I would have like a little bit of, I would wake up, I would kind of like chill a little bit, AFK the dragons, and then on stream I would do the Hill Giants because it was more active content. And dragons were really AFK because I use an alt. I had to kind of cheese the visage because I can't tank the dragon fire. So I didn't do that on stream at all because I didn't want to show the method, because Randy was actually using the same, like a very similar method at the same time, and I didn't want to like ruin it for him, because at the time they changed Limpert's Callfight Queen method. I don't know if you guys heard of that, the whole like Callfight Queen instance thing for ironmen. That basically happened because Limpert made a video using an alt, and then they changed that whole thing. So at that point I was really scared to show the Iron Dragon method, because I didn't want to ruin it for Randy, because he was using a similar method to kill Iron Dragons.
Huh.
So the method is what now for Iron Dragons?
You use an alt to tank the dragon. Like, I use my main account to just stand there and attack the dragon, so I wouldn't get attacked on the chunk account, and then I would just AFK and like cudgel the dragons.
Okay.
That's what I use.
And that still lets you get the drop because the main never did any damage.
Right, yeah. You just attack it once and you just stand there with your main. That works somehow.
And now, did they update that to where if the monster did damage to another player, then it doesn't count for Iron Man? Did they update it?
They did do that in for some specific scenarios, like slay monsters in the catacombs. Not Iron Dragons, luckily, but like, for example, a Dust Devil, if you like splash them with your main to like stack them, right? You don't get the drop on your Iron Man. They changed it a while ago. But I was mentioning the Limport example because he made a video showing his like alting method for his chunk account to kill Callfight Queen to make it faster. Kind of similar to what I did with the dragons, right? And because he made that video, Jagex changed it, because they don't really like that stuff if you show those types of methods on YouTube especially. So I had to kind of keep it a secret, so I didn't like show it on stream at all. So I was keeping that for the morning, and then did the Hill Giants on stream.
Well, good on you. Good on you, because that's nobody likes it when you I don't know. It would feel weird to like be the reason. You know, I don't know that they would be like people would blame you, but it definitely is. It definitely can feel bad. Like you definitely can feel bad.
I knew like almost no one was using the method because you really don't have a reason to use it. But I knew Randy was using it, so I didn't really want to like mess it up for him because he was also going for the Vizzy on his Defense Saga account.
Gotcha.
So we kind of kept it a secret, the method, until we both had the Vizzy.
Well, Oxie, if you need to kill your iron dragons, you know what to do.
I mean, that's honestly, that's not the worst idea in the world because, like, I can bring tank gear and just sort of stand there on my main, and I'm like, it might save me some death runes to beat him to death with my dragon mace or whatever I have.
Like you either are against alting or not against alting. I use alting methods on a chunk account because it already naturally takes so long to do certain grinds. And I wouldn't even be able to get a Vizzy anyways if I didn't use that method. So I basically forced myself to get it by using an alt. There was no other way to really like do it.
Yeah.
So, but like you either are against it or you're fine with alting.
There are
really
definitely
like hot topic. It's a hot topic lately, I feel, with the whole raid stuff too.
There's purists in every community that were like, you know, if you're not doing it the way it was intended, you're not doing it at all.
Yeah.
I always
wish I had an alt account.
I always say play however you want to play. If you want to do something and you're allowed to do it in a game, then you know, if that's what you like to do it.
Get her done. So what's next? What do you plan to do? I mean, when the chunks end, and there's, you know, like what if you were given unlimited possibilities? What do you foresee yourself wanting? Like, what would interest you? That's a roundabout way to asking, like.
You mean like with new types of accounts?
Yeah.
Or like a chunk account, or
it could be a chunk account. Like, is there any other chunks that you would explore to start, or anything else?
You mean if I would make a new account, like would I?
Yeah.
Oh right. I think in general I just kind of go with the flow. Like I'm currently working on a few accounts. Sometimes I switch between accounts, but I don't really have that many ideas for like future accounts right now, to be honest. Like I'm pretty busy with the chunk account and some of the other accounts I'm playing. I'm already playing too many accounts right now, I'll be completely honest. Like I need to cut down on some. So I want to like I want to actually finish projects so I can focus on less. So I'm pretty busy. I kind of go with the flow, you know. Maybe because of a specific update or maybe because of sailing, who knows, new people will make new accounts or new ideas will come out. So I mean, maybe I'll make a sailing only account, right? I just kind of always go with the flow. I don't really have a, you know, specific idea right now.
Yeah.
For future, because the chunk account is so time consuming. Like I could play this account for at least 10 more years without worrying about running out of content. So
that is true.
So yeah,
let's hope
I'm really enjoying it. So
let's hope old school RuneScape is still here in 10 years, because we're 10 years in and it's still going strong. But
could you guys imagine though, like, I just unlocked my final wilderness chunk on my 40th birthday. Like that seems that seems like just why I don't know how I could conceptualize that much time playing the same game, because I could do it. You know, it's just like 10 years down the line. It seems wild, but like all of my friends who I, you know, knew in like middle school and things like that, whenever we reconnect and they're like, "Oh, how are you doing? What are you doing?" I mention Xpwaste. I tell them about the kind of games I like to play, and like what I currently do for content creation. The synopsis is like anything I was doing in like 2009, 2010, I'm probably still doing, just a little bit different. Maybe by 2035 or whatever it is, I will still be doing this exact same content. Who knows? But
I'll just be doing it with my kids.
Like I'm always, recently I've been thinking, like, if I get kids and stuff, like, do I see myself still, like, play this full time and do this? But I think it's pretty normal. I think there's quite a few old school RuneScape full-time content creators that actually have kids already. So,
yeah,
it's just, like, it's just interesting to imagine, right? The life how different it will be. I don't know. So that's why I was curious about the whole balancing thing too, because maybe in 2 years I have kids. So
you definitely
thinking about it,
well, life before I had a kid till now, it's changed drastically. But you kind of still. My biggest advice to parents, moms or dads, whoever you are, is when you have a kid, like really try to keep some semblance of yourself. It can happen very often that when you become a parent, that becomes your whole identity. And for me, I really for my wife and I, both of us, like we were actively and mentally really trying to not lose ourselves in this process. Just kind of mold yourself into a new version of you. Because there's a lot of people out there that like you ask them what they do and they say they're a full-time mom or full-time dad or they're a parent, but you are who you are first, and then you're the parent. I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I am Michael, and second, I am the parent of my child. And that's kind of how I've remained sane and remained, who I am. It's easy to fall into,
I think it's really important to keep that. I was just like thinking about it because like I see myself play this like chunk account while having a kid, but I don't see why not. You just have to balance it more, right? So just gotta find that balance.
You might play it a little bit differently, right? Like I think Michael said earlier. I think someone in the recording booth chat like a couple hours ago at this point was like, "I'm surprised your son isn't like knocking on the door saying, 'Daddy, Daddy, Daddy,' like wanting your attention." And Michael was like, "We record while he naps for a reason."
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just have to like adjust around.
It's planning,
life. Yeah.
When he stops napping,
and Lord knows you can plan for RuneScape accounts. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think like what we talked about earlier with mobile, I think that can help a lot because as a full-time content creator, I'll be doing this full-time instead of working at an office, which I think has benefits too. If you have a kid at home, you can with RuneScape it's really easy to just walk away and do something else for a bit. So I think that will help. I think balance it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse how much kids sleep, because there are some days where I'm like, I really miss him, but he's napping and you can't wake him up. And there's other days where like, is it nap time yet? Are you going to go to bed soon so that I can just not watch Mickey Mouse for the 5th hour in a row?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, like recently, within the last week, it happened randomly, but like, we learned that my son really likes Avatar, The Last Airbender. And so, like,
beautiful.
I know.
Good choice.
It is a breath of fresh air from, like, the Bluey marathons that were my household. And so he'll wake up, like, he woke up this morning. I'm like, what do you even watch TV? He said, Avatar. I'm like, yes.
And you're like, oh my God, I like watching it too. You're like,
yeah, it's something that we can both enjoy. And it's not just mindless noise in the background while he's chilling. And he's actually like, anytime there's like big bending scenes or like they're fighting, he's like looking back at me like, whoa. This is awesome. The golden age of parenthood, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you have a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. Lovely points on parenthood balancing and things like that. I
know people didn't come here for that though. You know what I mean?
I mean, people at this point, people come for the RuneScape and they stay for whatever the hell happens.
Yeah,
I often
so I feel like
people are really interested in things that are going outside of your RuneScape life too. So it could help random people for all by talking about certain topics or
we have a ton of parents who
who
are in nearly the exact same situation Michael is. Their child is anywhere between like 1 and 4 years old, and they're just like progressing their accounts however they can. I know like there's a lot of people even in the recording booth chat right now who are parents.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily like bad that we get off track.
Plus
and if you guys don't like it, that's tough. I don't
the average age of most viewers and people that play RuneScape is up there too. So like
yeah, yeah. I think our average
to a point where people are getting kids too, like more often, like So
it is so nice because this is like it's so weird. Like RuneScape is my like adult time, So I have my job where I work with teenagers, right? So I'm interacting with some adults, but like primarily with kids because that's who I provide therapy to. And then I fence on the side as like a little hobby I do at night. Most of my fencing club is kids under the age of like 16 and adults over the age of like 45. I'm one of like 2 people who's in their mid-20s right now. So like I'm just like I'm therapizing 16-year-olds and then I'm like hanging out with 16-year-olds and I'm like I need an adult to have a conversation with. Thankfully RuneScape is that because I've played other games, like I've told the story. I played like Valorant a couple weeks ago, and the amount of times I was like, is this a girl or a child? Like I don't know who I'm talking to right now because the demographic is just so young. I like the fact that we have grown-ups in our community.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, you just know if you look at the YouTube analytics, for example, you look at the average age of your viewers, it's all like, it's like 80% in like one age category. It's just so funny.
The like 22 to 35-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, like 25 to 35 or something, I believe it is, yeah. And it's a crazy, little bit under 25 and maybe a little bit above 35, but yeah, that's basically all the viewers' age.
Same for us.
So we're gonna. I was gonna say I would say we're gonna age out when we hit 35, but I feel like we're just gonna push that demographic up. Like, well, I mean, it's gonna go from 25 to 35 to like 30 to 40. When we get to that age, like
we're growing up with our audience.
It will be around.
That's the hard part. Is I don't know any Gen Z people who play this game, so like, it might just be us old millennials.
I think
keeping.
I think there are a lot of. I mean. Gen Z is what, 97, 96?
Yeah.
I'm 96. So like technically I could be considered the elder Gen Z. Like there are Gen Z that play it, but they're like I think old millennials are like in their 40s at this point.
Yeah. Elder millennials.
So like
yeah,
I think it's coming to the point where like, people like myself and anyone a year or two younger than me are all considered Gen Z, but we're not like, we like Fortnite, flossing and running around with iPads in both hands, Gen Z. And frankly, I don't even think that's Gen Z at this point. Right, I think it's whatever generation comes after.
Gen Z, the new generation.
Gen Z goes to like 2010, I think. Or like 2013. Like 96 to 2010.
But like even so, 2010, that's what?
Like teenagers.
That's, I think, 14 maybe?
Yeah, 13 or 14.
That's 13 years old. So, like, thank God we don't have 13-year-olds in here. But, like, I have to get away from work somehow, man.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so nice to play a game that kids don't play. Because, like, they'll ask me about my tattoos at work. And the amount of times people have been like, what's that? I'm like, it's a dagger. They're like, what from? A game? What game? It's a dagger. Like, I don't even tell them what it is. It's so nice. So nice.
You're just like keeping him in the dark.
I have talked about RuneScape. I have talked about RuneScape, I think, one time before in a less vague sense. So every Tuesday I hold my therapy group. And to end the group, we play a game called Rosebud Thorn, where your rose is your good thing that happened to you this past week. Your thorn is a bad thing that happened to you this past week. And a bud is something you're looking forward to next week. And there are a few rules, like we can't be like, oh, I left, I went home, I slept, and I'm looking forward to like leaving tomorrow, But the week I got my Infernal Cape, I got it on a Monday, and like all morning on that next work day, I would just like log into my account and wear it at Sears Village Bank because I'm like, this doesn't even feel real. This is awesome. And then when I had group that afternoon, my rose for the past week, I'm like, I got an item in a game that I play And I've been trying to get this item for like a year and a half, and it took me over 100 tries to get this item. And I finally got it, and I cried, and I was so happy. And the kids were like, "What item?" I'm like, "It's called an Infernal Cape. That's all you're gonna get out of me." You know, and that's the only time I think I've like given them any sort of like direct reference to OSRS. I just, thank you guys for being grown adults. that's all I can say, really. But
I'm going to get a drink and some water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you fellas feel about transitioning to a break here?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Good, sounds good.
We will see you after this.
How you doing, you bastards? My name's Fortunato. I work out of Draenor Village. I sell the best wine in the whole damn continent. Not in Draenor, not in Misthalin, not in Gillinor, the whole world. I sell the best wine in the whole damn world. People tell you, you're gonna buy wine for cheaper on the Grand Exchange. They lying to you. That's juice. That's juice. The best wine comes from me. The pirates, they buy my wine. Them freaks with the hats over there in Zia, they buy my wine. Okay? You gotta come over here, you gotta buy my wine. At Fortunato's, we don't waste nothing. Very rarely do I have wine that go off because it's so good, it's always flying off the shelves. When it do go off though, the vinegar, we're gonna sell that too. I hear there's some old man just east of Iraq or something like that. He wants vinegar. I don't care why. In this business, you don't ask no questions. You're hearing this ad, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, oh, I got some buddies who make wine, I could do that too. You wanna be a tough guy? Huh? You wanna be a tough guy? Make your own wine? Try to outsell Fortunato? Yeah, sure, whatever. I dare you. I dare you to outsell me. In fact, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a head start, okay? Come over to my place, I'll sell you some jugs. They can be full of water, they can be empty, I don't care. Not even your girlfriend at the Grand Exchange has better jugs than me. I get these bitches by the gross. I'll sell you as many as you want. You can make all the wine that you want. It's not gonna be better than me. Come swing by Draenor Village, swing by my wine stand, have a good drink, and leave feeling good, okay? I promise you, you're not gonna find any better wine anywhere else.
Welcome back. I sure hope you enjoyed that commercial because I know that I sure did. Now is the most enjoyable part of the show, where we shout out the patrons. I say that kind of sarcastically because given the other sections it's stacked up against, Patreon doesn't really hold a candle. But for the people getting shouted out, it is an exciting time. So can't really discount that, right? It's a fun thing to do. So shout out to all of our patrons, the Gnome Children, the Party Pete's, and the Wise Old Men. No new Wise Old Men this week, but we do have one new KBD. Speaking of KBD, the people who subscribe at that tier get shouted out. As you know, the awkwardness is not because we have a guest. If you're new, it's because Oxie's just awkward when talking about his own monetization. So, without further ado, those King Black Dragon patrons are, hopefully in alphabetical order, because doing them out of alphabetical order sounds weird at this point. Kicking things off, we have Broic70, My Dad, Hi Dad, Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, our newest KBD patron, EXP Enjoyer, Gay Raccoon, or Bi Raccoon, depending on where you see him, Legend Gary, Lil Drakey, the Lord Jake himself, Mark, aka Ice-Team, Mike Oxmall, MT Birchfield, Rylithian, SatanBot666, Soggy Waffles, Seppi J, Seth Shep, Skooma92, Spartan Fire, Taco Ninja, the Big G Jordy, the Crayola Crayon, Toast No Toast, and Tuz Talk Coots. Thank you all so much for your draconic support. Is that the proper term at this point? Like, how do you? That's
I like that.
Yeah, normally I say monumental, but let's mix things up a little. Draconic. You guys are awesome for supporting at the KBD tier. Not only just for like Elite Oreo Dunker's new, but like for all the people who have been doing it for so long. You guys are the real MVPs, man. You guys are awesome. So huge shout out to them, and as I said, to everyone in our Patreon. Hopefully shirts are done. Are we done with shirts? Is the shirt saga over?
Shirt saga is over.
Shirt saga has been completed. Yeah, I know Michael kind of vaguely hinted at like other stuff coming from Patreon in the next couple of weeks. I wish I had more information to give you, but Michael and I haven't had one of our business meetings in like 3 months.
It's been a long time.
So it has been a long time. But you know what you don't need a Patreon subscription for? To come to our meetup. Xpwaste North, August 5th in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Information about it is in the Discord. Come hang out. You know, it's going to be a blast. We're not going to be doing... We're literally just going to be like hanging out.
Yeah.
It's a big arcade. It's going to be cool as hell. Verf, you're invited too, though, you know, feasibly it might be a little tougher for you to get there, but if you can get there, you're invited. So yeah, that's information is in the Discord. If you want to support on Patreon, if you feel so inclined after hearing us invade your ear holes with our voices, head over to patreon.com/xpwaste to sign up for as low as $1 a month, because as I have said, they would not let us make it lower than that. So go ahead and get on that if that's something you're interested in. If you're not new around here, you know that I really, really don't like doing the Patreon stuff because I'm just still... It's hard to say thank you, you know? Not that it's hard to say thank you. It's just like, y'all don't have to do this and you choose to do it. And it means a lot, but it's hard to verbalize, if that makes sense. I'm happy, but I'm awkward.
Oxie is...
So because of that, I'm going to send it over to Michael for the community question. Please, for the love of God.
Oxie's just bad at accepting gifts. And you guys give us the gift of support, and he's just bad at it.
That's exactly what it is. Yes, I've never been good at receiving presents. So when people pay me to talk about something that I was going to talk about, regardless of whether or not they asked, it just feels strange. But I appreciate you guys.
Me too. Anyway, now is the second best, arguably the best section in the second half of the episodes. It's community question time. So last week we asked you, what is your best method for starting a task when you're feeling unmotivated? I feel like today with Verf being here, like Verf, I feel like you've got this down pat. Like we talked last week all about like decision paralysis and how you can stay motivated and keep doing things whenever you just either you don't know what to do or you're stuck. So these are all the answers from that question from last week. Starting out with Iron Otis. They said, I haven't had this issue much yet. I'm such a low level, but I have recruited my Springo captain and other bingo mates as skill and gear advisors. They didn't have a choice. Nice. Next up, we have Dylan. They said, start small and stay consistent. I'm about to finish my 300th hard clue grind. I started with 1 a day, which turned into 10 a day. Oh, that was actually D4 Drake. Hell yeah. D4 Drake, this is the second time I've called you Dylan. Can we start putting your username at the beginning? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Mima.
Or you can just remember that Dylan is D4 Drake, sir.
Okay, I'll remember.
Jesus.
I'll remember. Mima says, have multiple tasks or goals so you can hop between them when you're not feeling it. Also, the task is not going to do itself. And finally, collection slot completed? No, incomplete. Oh, it said incomplete. Collection log slot incompleted. Oh, Mima, are you okay? Clagro, I'm not pronouncing that one right. They said every XP I get now is 1 less XP I have to get later. It also helps a lot when I'm doing a grind that will help my group mates in my GIM team. That's huge, actually. Like, I feel like the goals that I have are intertwined with everybody else's goals on the accounts. And so it definitely helps me whenever, like, I already got 70 Herblore, but I'm now still doing farm runs because my group mates need herbs. So if you have a group Ironman team, you can do that effectively. James says, friends' recent achievements help me power through my down days because I may not get luck, but if they do, it's also a sense of accomplishment that drives me to my next goals.
Aw.
That's so wholesome.
That's wholesome.
I love that.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. Well, James, if you want some achievement dopamine, just go look in awesome drops or levels and achievements in the TNL Discord. We got you. We got you. Moist Sean says, sometimes I take a break, and then once I get the urge to jump back in, I jump on it. Or just suck it up and start doing something. Decision paralysis. Just suck it up. You get there.
Wow. Have you tried just getting?
Have you tried just? Exactly. Hey, if it works for you, Moist Sean, it works for you, and I'm so happy. Good Fizzle says, I remind myself that it's just a game, not my job. If I'm not having a good time or I'm not feeling motivated, I find something new or fun to do in game, or I go play Minecraft. If you
poor Verf over there sweating like, oh god, it is my job.
No. Oh no, I can't do anything with Kill Hill Giants. Oh no. Let's play Minecraft.
If you guys know Fizzle, that's 100%. She'll just go play Minecraft. HP Healer says, I motivate my main by creating free-to-play accounts so I can remember how good I have it as a pay-to-play account.
That's one
Please
way
tell
to
me
do
that
it.
that's real. Please tell me that's real.
Dog, you know you can just hop through free-to-play world, right? Like, you don't have to create a new account every single time.
You get that struggling experience, you know, the fresh account free to play struggles.
It's like if you're feeling really bad about yourself, just go through Tutorial Island willingly. Damn. Okay, well, moving on. Dinosaur says, I have 3 back burner goals to chip away at when I'm not working on my main stuff. Those goals being Zulrah, Hydra, and a zillion pets. Been dry on pets since Kraken last summer, so here's to hoping. Eyes emoji. Here's to hoping. Yeah, for sure. I think like with goals, like if you're working on skills, skill hopping. If you're working on other grinds, grind hop. It's probably the best way to keep yourself from burning out.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me. I don't know how to say this name. Octum? They said the best method is breaking it up into smaller tasks, also setting a finite amount of time to grind for said goal. Quote, if I can't get it done in 2 hours, I'm doing something else. P.S. Sailing good, shamanism bad. Kind of lost me at the end there, but
a man of culture, as it were.
Yeah, that's how I say it. But no, definitely breaking your tasks up into smaller, more. Again, like if you're gonna eat a steak,
my favorite.
like if you're gonna eat a steak, you're not gonna take the whole steak in one bite. Just cut it up, smaller bite.
You are if you're not a coward.
Oh. Well, here's one thing. What is one food that you wouldn't just eat in one bite and then take that and then cut it into a smaller bit?
That's hard to think of right there.
Pork cherry.
I open my mouth like an anaconda. I ate a whole plate of spaghetti in one tick.
Oh, no.
I swear to God, I'll do it.
Oh, no.
Efficiency.
Next thing you know, Oxie's like shoving sharks in his mouth like he is in game.
He's like one ticking the spaghetti.
I tried. So we have a TikTok, and like a couple of years ago, I tried to do a 3-way combo eat in real life because I had shrimp, water, and calamari, and I was like, all right, well, this is essentially like a hard food,
a karambwan,
like a potion and a karambwan, and I tried to do it all in one tick, and it was just like, I told my sister, I'm like, film me. It has to be under 0.6 seconds. She's like, how do I measure that? I'm like, you don't measure it, you feel it, right? And I tried to go like home sip and then the calamari at one time, and it just looked like and it just all got in my mouth. It was disgusting.
Gross.
It did not work out how I wanted it to. So combo eating in real life is tough.
Good to know.
Anyways, back to the community question.
Next up, we have Pork Cherry. They said an Excel sheet keeps me on task. I have goals, XPs needed, boss KC, estimated hours, etc. Always work towards the next goal. Always work towards the next closest goal to get that sweet dopamine. I feel like Verf, you're a spreadsheets guy, aren't you?
No, but like some of the other things we've heard are things I do, like splitting up the tasks, like switching it up. You know, a lot of the things they are mentioning is like what I like to do as well to keep motivated and keep going. So
some people are like,
I've never really used like spreadsheets, but
maybe I'm thinking of like when you pick your chunks, it's in a spreadsheet. So I kind of correlated that, but oh well. Some people are visual and like having everything like laid out in a visual sense versus like saying, oh, my goal is to get 1,000 Zulrah. Like they're very visual when it comes to like, this is
it's
where,
also very organized.
It's very organized.
So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Next up, we have Real Crazy. If a task is decently AFKable, I usually find and watch YouTube documentaries when I start it. YouTube documentaries isn't something I need to pay attention to all the time, but it helps keep me going. That's pretty huge. There's certain YouTube genres for me that I can just put on in the background. Like I like to watch this guy called My Mechanics, and he takes old rusty things and like restores them to new. And for me, that's just something I can have on in the background and like occasionally look over and see what he's doing. Like, is he making a new screw? Is he sandblasting this rusty part? Hell yeah. Aaron says, I have a few YouTubers that I follow and try to keep up with. Jimmy and his Quest series, for one example. It's just been hilarious hearing you talk about the heat in your areas coming from somebody from Florida. I don't know. It's like one person's struggle isn't harder than another person's struggle, but like when you get in the car and it's triple digits at 11 p.m., it's hard not to complain. Like we got in the car last night. It was literally like 11:45. We got out of the concert, and it was still 100 degrees. 100 degrees.
I have always said I will never say I am hotter temperature-wise than anyone else in the world because I know my state really isn't that hot. I just like to bitch. Come talk to me in January.
Okay. I'm trying to convert 100 Fahrenheit to Celsius for Verf. 37 degrees is what it was last night in Texas.
Texas, okay.
The South American South. So it was.
Was that today?
Was that? That was last night.
Oh, last night, yeah.
11:30 p.m.
Today it was 33 degrees in the Netherlands, which is fairly hot.
I was just say that's not cold by any stretch of the imagination.
It's also like really.
It's 91 degrees. Yeah, it's pretty hot. What's the humidity? Do you know that offhand? Like, is it pretty humid?
It's horrible.
That's where it gets me.
Real quick.
That's what gets me.
It feels like very. Oh, it's not 83% right now.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm dying at like 60%.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh my gosh, dude. I would not go outside. That's just like I'm staying inside. There's no question. There's no question. Let's see. The Rep Dog says, don't have one. Please tell me to pull my finger out and just start grinding Zulrah. P.S. Battle Bit is fun and addictive. This is the problem with reading these a week later is I don't know what the reference to Battle Bit is and why you want me to pull your finger because that's generally not a good thing. I know why. You're saying pull my finger out and like use it on the mouse. Pull the finger out of what? Oh no.
Oh, homeschooled kids.
Alex says, I wait for my girlfriend to get annoyed at me, then any task, never mind how mind-numbing it is really easy to get on with. Alex, I don't know that's... Okay. Little relationship advice here. Your partner should never have to get annoyed at you on purpose. It's just the main takeaway from that. But whatever works. Mockcat. And Verf, Mockcat is our resident UIM who always answers these questions. So we always get a little UIM perspective. So if they say 1 large breath in, 3 puffs out, then start. Based on the fun question, try out adventure mode in Melvor Idle. It's my main in Melvor. Is that the word?
Yep.
Does that work? Because the Melvor, fun question was like locking 3 skills, getting 3 benefits. So adventure mode, is that the play?
Yeah, you like unlock one skill at a time.
Oh.
Something like that. You have to like buy them with GP. I think I've never played Melvor Adventure Mode. I recently finished base game completion though, so I got my comp cape for base game.
Go you.
And now I'm doing Throne of the Herald, and boy, it's a step up PVM wise, but who knows?
Verf, do you know what Melvor Idol is?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's like what is that called?
It's the RuneScape inspired idle game that they started. They were advertising it a couple years ago on like the
Jagex actually bought them.
JMod streams.
Really?
Yeah, Jagex
bought
them.
Of it, I think.
It's like a text-based RuneScape technically. So it's like an app or a website, and you set your character. Right. You don't have an actual character. It's just like a command where you go like,
it's an idle game.
Yeah,
it's just
it's kind of like you follow a path
game.
through text or a journey kind of. Right.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is, but I didn't know RuneScape had that.
Yeah, give it a try. It's very different. Like you train prayer by like
actually using prayer.
Yeah, using prayer or
it's fun.
Eating fish. I think you have like bonefish that you can eat, and that gives you prayer XP. It's kind of cool.
I'm a very visual guy, so if it's just text, might be struggling a bit. Because
it's not just Michael isn't explaining.
I'm not
great.
No, I'm not. Because it is visual.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Give it. It's free. It's an idle game.
Okay.
You might like it.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Next up, we have M. Scade. They say classic, rolling a d20 and just sending it. Also, dear God, I can't wait to do something else because this event has my wrist in a brace. So, a little backstory. We did a skill of the week in TNL this week. So, it ended, as of the time of recording, it ended yesterday. And Scotty, who was the winner, obviously, he gained 9.1 million woodcutting XP in 7 days. Multiple like 6 hour logs just chopping teak the entire time.
Oh my.
Yeah. I think he played 90 hours.
Or 2-tick or something?
He 2-ticked the entire time. And it's like 160k. So you do the math. That's so many hours.
That's a lot of ticking. Yes.
Yeah. So much clicking. So yeah, Scotty won. It was a pretty hefty prize. I think he made like 40 mil, something close to that. So worth it? ? I don't know. Young Mac says, take a break, play something else. No point in forcing yourself to do something when you're not feeling it. It's a recipe for Burnout City.
There you go.
There it is. Take a break.
There you go.
Do something else. And finally,
don't force yourself.
Right, exactly. And I don't think Young Mac's playing RuneScape right now anyway, so he's living it. He's actually living it. Hey, but he's still listening to episodes, so thank you, Young Mac. And finally, on our Spotify replies, Caleb says, I see someone make a YouTube video, whether it's a guide or PVM, and I try and follow in their footsteps. Chaos and flipping old school inspire me the most. I feel like that's pretty good. Like, one other series that one other YouTuber that I like for like series is Mudkip. That man, he'll start an account and just grind and lays out a pretty good path on how to get, level 3 to max.
He goes really into detail about everything.
He does.
So
yep.
Yeah.
Takes it slow.
Very beginner friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, moving over to our YouTube replies. Not as many here, but we still got some. We asked you the same question. What is your best method for starting a task when you're feeling unmotivated? Sage says, set a clear goal. Break it down, divide it into smaller, manageable steps, and just do it.
Yep.
It's really, you can't get any more clear than that.
It's the best way.
Exactly. The Grant Collection says, I watched this podcast called Xpwaste. This week I had a serious analysis paralysis about de-ironing my account so I could boss with Buddy. After listening to your podcast this week, I decided to make another account and just buckle down and do it. Listening to your podcast motivates me to get to the end game stuff. Thanks, guys. Aw.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
What a guy.
That means a lot. Thank you so much. Jordy says, set rewards against it to motivate yourself for doing this type of content. Whether that is something in-game or outside the game, the best method is to still just go ahead and do it. Throw yourself in the deep end because you need to start somewhere. Again, the common theme here is just like either just just go ahead and do it.
Do it. Just do it.
I was editing last week's episode and I almost found the Shia LaBeouf gif of him going like, do it. Like the meme.
You should have just named the episode Just Do It.
Do it. Oh, too late for now. Too late. And finally, on YouTube, and our last response for the community question, Ryan says, start a timer for 1 hour and limit yourself to just that. Play as efficiently as you can during that hour and then stop. If you're motivated to do another hour, then do it. If not, step away. If you know you're 12 hours of agility from a level, that can be daunting. If you know that you're only an hour to efficiently do a task, that's much more manageable. Guys, it's all coming down to the smaller chunks. Just cut your steak into a little bite. Take the bite and then eventually eat the whole steak.
I have something to add to that whole topic. If I guess.
Yeah, of course.
What also helps me if starting my day really well. I usually split my day specifically and do it the same every day, and it really helps me be consistent too.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go to the gym at 10 in the morning and wake up pretty early. I play a little bit of RuneScape, go to the gym, and then play RuneScape, take a break, and then stream. Splitting it up like that really helps me.
Yeah.
So having a very consistent day can also really help you with being consistent in RuneScape or something else in your life that you like to do.
Like a schedule.
Really, yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Because I think the thing about decision paralysis is the unknown can sometimes be the biggest fear. But if it's a consistent thing, if you have a schedule, if you know that you want to, here's an example. This is something that's helped me a lot. If I'm playing before bed, I'll set myself up on my account to I'll either have my mining gear, my rogue's outfit if I know I want to do thieving. I'll put myself in the farming guild with all of my seeds. You just basically set yourself up for the next day so that when you wake up, you're getting ready to play, or the next time you get on, it's not like, oh man, what am I going to do? You've set yourself up. Previous you has given you something to do. I have found that really helps me a lot. And when knowing what I'm logging into can really help me with starting that task. So if for instance, your goal is to kill a bunch of Zulrah, and maybe you logged out and you weren't doing Zulrah, before you log out, get all your Zulrah gear on, get your inventory set up, and just stand yourself on the dock. All you have to do when you log in is click on the boat, and you're there. That might really help with
that's pretty
the
smart.
decision paralysis. I actually lied. We have a couple more replies. They weren't so on YouTube. I post the community question, and then usually I read the ones that are a reply to that comment. But we have a couple here, so we're just going to go through these quickly. Casual Spider says, recently on my GIM, I've been on a questing spree. To stay motivated, I've been gearing up for the quest items, etc. Then logging out for the evening at the start of location. When I log in the next day, I'm already... That was not planned. That was not...
way.
I promise you 100% that was not planned.
Oh my
God.
God.
You're stealing this guy's
That was
response.
not
Sam H,
planned.
Michael.
I promise you. Damn, Casual Spider, we're on the same wavelength here. So yeah, basically just they log out, they get all their stuff, and they log in and do the quest. That's amazing. Man, that's so cool.
That's hard to believe, but I believe you. That's great.
You were here live for it.
Mm-hmm.
Ilago says, as a GIM, I've been chasing the questscape, and I've hit a bit of a wall with Dragon Slayer 2 and Song of the Elves. So to keep progressing, I've switched to doing diaries and have 9 out of the 12 hearts done, as well as getting some untradables to help for those quests such as Void in the Mage Capes. That's also a cool strat, is if you know that you're not ready for your current goal, do other similar goals that can help, prepare you for the goal that you have. Because there's a lot of that in the mid game. There's so much stuff in the mid game that can help you progress your account, but a lot of different things. You can work toward your fire cape, you can go for your torso. Like you said, you can get your mage capes, your void. There's just a lot you can do. Mr. Just Tim. It looks like Justin, but it's just Tim. They said, I like to start with something I enjoy, like Slayer or working on a clue scroll. That gets me started to work on things that are hard for me to do. 2007 Chube says, I put on Xpwaste podcast and just hammer through it. If not that, think of some Osrs memes to make. Hell yeah. And that's actually going to do it for the community question. Thank you so much, everyone.
The ending for real.
for real. Guys, like I don't do this very often, but we made a mistake. That's going to do it for the community question. Thank you so much to everybody who did answer. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, if you could have a chunk locked or area locked account, where would the account be and what would your restrictions be? Let us know in the community question. You can answer that on the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. My dear friend Oxie, I do believe it's your turn for Achievement of the Week.
It is. It is time for Achievement of the Week. I definitely didn't dissociate during that 4-hour community question response.
I didn't either.
But I caught a dragon implink for the first time ever. I was like, oh, I should shout this out. I'm like, I have the hunter level. I can catch it myself. So I did. So, I got Mystic Rope Bottoms. It wasn't worth it.
F.
But yes, it is time for Achievement of the Week. This is the section of the show where we shout out you guys for doing awesome stuff in our community, in our Discord. Post them in levels and achievements, and we generally see them. That's how that works, obviously. But, I'm saying like levels and achievements, I'm just going to start this whole thing over. Yeah, it's Achievement of the Week time. I might leave the whole thing in. Who knows? It's game time, folks. I'm definitely distracted playing on 2 accounts. It's an issue. But kicking things off with the miscellaneous category this week, we have 4 quest capes. Armadillo, Jimothy, Ulki, and the previously mentioned Elagio, who got his quest cape on his GIM.
Hell yeah.
So, clearly the those holdbacks weren't too holding back after all, because he's got his quest cape. 4 brand new quest capes this week. Additionally, LA Clips and Robert Shiftley both got their music capes this week. So, got some rather symphonic folks in the Discord. It's such a nice teleport for Master Clues. Such a nice teleport.
I wouldn't know. I just like the emote.
No, you wouldn't. Do you have a music cape? Oh, right, you don't do Master Clues.
I have a music cape.
I thought for a second, I'm like, you don't have a music cape? And then I rememred it's not that you don't have a music cape.
I just don't do Master Clues, yeah.
You don't do Master Clues. Okay. I get it now. So normally our like big achievements for skilling and combat respectively are the capes, the max cape and the infernal cape. We have 2 of each this week.
Ooh.
So Verf, skilling or combat, which do you want to hear first? Combat? All right, kicking things off. Well, not kicking things off, but continuing here with the combat section. 1 fire cape, one lone fire cape this week. Voltoro got his first fire cape. Congratulations to you. Additionally, we have some more first. Valday and my boy Thormek both got their first Zulrah kill, and Trash Turtle got their first Corrupted Gauntlet kill. Hopefully they're not there for 1,000 kills to get their Enhanced Crystal Weapon Seed. Beauty's being an Iron Man, I suppose. Additionally to that, we have some people who've completed some, actual combat achievements, like the ones in your little player character thing. Shu completed their medium combat achievements. And like an hour ago, while we were recording, Troll completed his master combat achievements. So he's now rocking the Verzik helm. Looking good, feeling good. And as I said, we have 2 infernal capes, one of which came in today. As I mentioned earlier, the one that I completely missed in the CC. Yes Lunch and Sabretooth, aka Gambler, one of our Aussie boys, both got their infernal capes this week. Fellas, you are free. Congratulations. You can play the game. You can enjoy it again. You'll have a damn good looking cape on your back while you're doing it. Very proud of you both, right? And yeah, again, Sabretooth, I apologize for not paying a lick of attention to the CC. I just didn't even focus on it. I think we saw it in levels and achievements, and I was like, did that happen today? And the people I was in VC were like, yeah, it happened like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, did it really? I had to scroll up to see. So congratulations to you both. Ending off Achievement of the Week with the skilling category. We got a handful of 99s. Sparry got 99 smithing. Smiley Prophet got 99 farming. Elvish Rage achieved 99 range. Elvish Rage, not Elvish Range. I know I said it right the first time, but I realized as I said range, I'm like, that sounds weird. That's why. Corkster with the triple 99, all the bank standing skills, fletching, crafting, and herb lore. This guy, Dildo the Great is his name. I wish I was making that up. I am not. Dildo the Great achieved 99 prayer. For Vitney, got 99 fletching, finally doing a fast skill for once. Eisenberg achieved 99 range. Buckeyes achieved 99 mage. I Seem achieved 99 slayer. Lalaut. I've seen your name before, and for the life of me, I don't think I've ever pronounced it correctly. Lalut achieved 99 crafting. And Sorry achieved 99 prayer. And like I said, we do have 2 max capes this week. The Chaos Cleric and Planker both achieved 2277 total level. They have completed the skilling grind. You have done it. You can finally play the game, as they say.
Don't burn out.
I was at...
Don't burn out.
Don't burn out.
Don't burn
like
out.
Me.
Don't do like Michael and start a group Iron Man. It's a trap. Chaos Cleric says my hand hurts. Chaos Cleric, you're in the recording booth chat with us right now. What was your last 99?
I think it was Hunter, right? Looked like it was.
Yeah, I saw you were at a birdhouse for your 99. You said your hand hurts. Did you 3 tick chins all the way to 99? Herbie all the way. A man of culture. We'd love to see it.
I think it might just be like the overall grind of just doing everything you need for 99.
Yeah,
makes your hand
over and over and over and over again. Yeah.
Can relate.
Can't relate. Michael wants me to, but boy, can't relate. You and your buddy Max at the same time? Okay, so
That's
in
fun.
Chaos Cleric's maxing picture, he's popping a birdhouse for his 99 Hunter, and him and his buddy did it at the same time. That's cool as hell.
That's cool, yeah. Awesome.
You guys planked at the same time, Max at the same time, and Planker, the guy who I was that was in the brain, had a big old party at Falador Park, and then we walked to the Berthorpe for the
username
for Max Island.
Planker?
Yeah, it's like Plank Dash I think. Yeah.
I wish I had a friend that I could do cool achievements with that would do them with me.
Yeah. Shame you maxed back in November. Anyways.
Max on the group Ironmans.
I want you to say that sentence again and really think about it. Really think about it when it comes out of your mouth. Oxie, will you max your Iron Man at the same time as me?
Will you, please?
Think about no. Just sit on that for a minute and see if it makes sense. For Michael and all the folks at home, just think about that one for a moment before we continue. And while they're thinking about it, you should think about heading over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL to join objectively the best RuneScape community. Let me see, in the whole damn planet. Yep, the whole thing. We are the best.
Objectively.
Verf has been here for probably 3 hours, and he's ready to abandon his own Discord. He likes this one so much.
Yeah, you guys should definitely join this Discord. Yes.
Right
now.
We didn't even pay him to say that.
No, yeah, right.
We did not. That was not scripted. But no, seriously, come on over. We would love to have you. Post about your achievements.
Very important. While we edit, like this video, please. Everyone should just like this video.
All right, yeah, we forgot
we got a
YouTuber with us. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Michael and I forget that we're
do all the things that YouTube wants you to do. Just do it.
Exactly.
Come on, guys.
Even the Spotify folks.
You guys watch
if
this
you're
far.
Spotify listeners.
You guys got this far into the podcast already. You might as well.
100%. Yeah. If you're on Spotify, go to YouTube, like the video anyway. Verf told you to do it. I don't make the rules. He does. But head over to our Discord, post about your achievements. Like we said, we don't care what they are. If it's a Zuck Helm, if it's a Max Cape, if it's base 40s, we don't care. We want to see it because we think it's cool that you guys are achieving cool stuff and hanging out in TNL in the process. Voice chats are always bumping, as they are today. Raiding, bossing, other raiding. Gen chat usually becomes more lively towards the evening. Come hang out. We'd love to have you. The link will be in the description below, but one more time, that is discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Enough about that, though. Michael, Verf, do you guys have a fun question for us this week?
I don't. But Verf, if you would like to think of a fun question, we'd love to.
Every week, every time we have a guest on, without warning, we're like, all right, guest, what's the fun question? And the look of like, oh,
what do I do?
From all.
A fun question, like RuneScape related or anything?
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so it can be RuneScape related in conjunction with real life. Like we've had an example of this, is we've said like, if you were teleported into the world of RuneScape, what are 3 items you would like to take from the real world? And we had one that was vice versa, like if you could have any item from RuneScape in the real world, what would you like? So it doesn't have to be, but it kind of does. You've had thousands of hours to think while killing hill giants. For this very moment.
Look, I wasn't prepared for this.
It's okay. It's okay. We have other sources of the fun question as well.
Iron Otis has a great idea that we could kind of go off of. Like, if you could lock yourself to one chunk in the world, and then you couldn't move on until like, where would you want to start?
I mean, I'm already locked to my own house. I don't go outside. I mean, I'm you know, the supermarket is like in my like apartment, so I just kind of crawl to the supermarket. So you know, no, I'm kidding.
You're that guy who lives upstairs, like, oh my god, it's the thing from the 4th floor. You come down, blanket over your eyes, phone in your hand. You know.
Probably. I would probably pick like a tropical island or something. Go full Gramja only mode, you know. I don't know. That sounds kind of chill. Not a worry in the world. Just a self-sufficient island.
That would be kind of cool.
So what defines a chunk in real life?
That's a good question.
Right? Are like because obviously 16 meters by 16 meters. That's a pretty shitty chunk to live in.
64 steps by 64 steps.
Yeah, that's rough, right? So I guess what defines a real life chunk? Like, how much of the island do you have? So let's say you wanted to live on like Maui or something. Is it a city or the island? I don't know.
The god.
I don't know.
Does Google Maps have something that like could
welcome.
make a chunk?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. So everything within like a square of the map in Google is like a chunk, maybe just like RuneScape, but like Google style. That might be a thing, honestly.
Google Map.
Maybe like based on like distance, right? Like a 100 by 100 kilometer square is a chunk, and then the whole Google Maps gets divided, and you have to just pick your area or something.
It's like a mile by a mile, or a kilometer by a kilometer, kilometer wide, kilometer tall.
That's not that'd be
kind of huge.
But
isn't a kilometer a mile?
Far,
a mile?
No. How big is a kilometer? Is 0.6 miles.
I mean, that's still pretty. That's a lot of space to cover. Because like, here's the thing: if in your
cozy village,
in your chunk, right? If you're in the city, like, what would you have to buy? Like, you have to try everything at McDonald's. You have to at least buy something from every restaurant in that chunk. You have to try all the food.
Complete
you have
the
to
collection log.
You go
complete the collection log for Taco Bell. Order everything on the menu.
No. You have to cook everything on the menu yourself. You know? You have to like make everything on the menu yourself. Be able to make it. So,
and then like,
does it have to taste exactly the same? Because I don't know how. Like, could you imagine? Like, son of a bitch, the Walmart is right on the other side of the chunk that I need. I gotta rob people for beans to make my refund.
But hey, if you unlock Walmart, that just makes your grind a lot easier. I think the hardest part. Okay, so I would want to start somewhere where money is not required, like you said, Verf, like a tropical island. But maybe like a farming chunk. Like I'm out in a 5-acre field, and like there's certain ways that I can get seeds. So like I have to be able to plant and harvest all of the available resources to me in
like
that
Minecraft.
Kind of like in Minecraft, yeah. It's like you're chopping down grass to get wheat, and then you grow wheat, or you find some sort of tree that has like, if you find like an apple tree, then you have to basically grow and cultivate an apple tree before you can move on to the chunk that has a river, and then maybe in the river you have to catch every available fish.
Yeah.
I feel like that for me would be the most enjoyable, because I don't know that I would enjoy a city chunk as much as I'm a man who loves food.
That's a death chunk.
Yeah. There's got to be some meme stuff in a city chunk. Like, you're not going to base jump off of every building, right?
You have to go to like every strip club and do every like thing on the menu or something. I don't know. Like
I feel like that's the first thing we talk.
I don't know, dude.
Not get a job, not find an apartment.
Something random.
Oxie, where are you starting? I feel like you're like a water man. You'd be like a water chunk.
I am a water chunk kind of guy, but I also like know myself as a person, and I mean, like, part of me is like, I don't want to choose a tropical island because I'll die in the first week, you know? If I'm like just restricted to that. I don't know how to make a fire on my own. What the hell? But I'm thinking like, maybe if I did like a chunk on like an up north cabin.
Ooh.
Right?
Wait, but you have to build your own cabin? Is that part of the...
Yeah.
God, I sure hope not.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
construction
cool.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the construction grind.
Plot of land is
all right,
like...
cool. So we have the same problem that we have in
everywhere
in the tropical island, but now we're just up
the
north.
homestead chunk.
Homestead chunk. I think that could be fun because you're pretty sustainable for food because there's hopefully fish in whatever lake or river you're living by. You know, I don't. My only stipulation was I would have to have some sort of guide. I would need to know what is and isn't edible, what is and isn't possible to do. Like, I would need to do myself a lot of theory crafting before I chunk locked myself in real life.
You need to research the area first before you lock yourself into it.
Exactly.
You have a plan. It's all mapped out.
Exactly. You know a thing or two about islands already.
How much of your Karamja only would like translate to real life island life? That's funny.
Wait, like
that seems like it would go great. You go somewhere like the Caribbean islands, and you're like, "Where's the volcano? I gotta talk to the rock people for some gems." You're gonna be like,
I have to run an obstacle for 400 hours to get 1900 agility on this random island in this random dungeon that no one goes to.
Did you really do?
You seen that guy who's just been jumping over old man Raoul's fence for the last week? Yeah, I don't know what his problem is.
I have to find green Broodoo guys and use anti-poisons on them.
Oh gosh.
You're gonna get some weird looks on that one depending on where you go.
Would like being able to deadlift all the logs and rocks in the area be part of the chunk?
I mean, 99
if there's
strength,
a rock,
that's part of the chunk.
Yeah, you got to pick up every rock that you can see. That's part of your goal. Because it can't just be
You're gonna have to
stuff.
use it as like material, building materials or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think IRL chunks they're a lot different. Obviously.
Maybe this is my next idea, you know? Maybe this is my next series idea. I'm gonna pick a part of the Netherlands and we're gonna map it out beforehand and I'm gonna do everything in that area and that's gonna be my new series.
Bro, you could
locked in real life. Let's go.
Honestly,
I'm gonna
Verf,
learn fishing and
Yes.
building houses and building like a wooden shed. I don't know.
Yep.
You name it.
I'm sure your fiance would like that.
You could make an IRL account, like an IRL YouTube channel, and just have a fun video like that where you went camping for the weekend and it's based on.
Funny enough,
that could be fun.
I actually had a really stupid idea a few months ago, making a RuneScape account that I can only train a specific skill if I do that activity in real life. So I would go to the gym for like an hour, right, and then I can only train strength for an hour. Or I would walk to the gym, which is agility. So I walk like 15 minutes. I can only train agility for 15 minutes. It's a really dumb idea.
You'd be so small.
Like
you can only cook for 10
train
minutes.
Like thieving?
Oh,
I'm just gonna rob a supermarket.
Verf, you know how you train thieving. you got to do it. You know how you train it. Someone's got to pay.
Jail time. Hey, you just have more
tourists.
time in jail. You know, to play RuneScape. Somebody sneaks you a phone after you get 99 thieving. How would that scale though? Like if you made a steak dinner and it took like an hour. Can you only cook for an hour? Because like.
Well, I was thinking like I cook.
Scaling.
I mostly cook. Like my girlfriend has a normal job. I usually I do RuneScape, so I don't mind cooking. I actually enjoy it quite a lot. So I usually cook the food. So I was thinking, like, I cook like on average maybe 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. So I can only train cooking for 20 minutes if I do cooking for 20 minutes in real life. I can do whatever I want in a game for cooking, but I can only do it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a fun series.
So you get 99, no problem.
No, I think that would be fun if your goal wasn't max. Like it had to be like base 50s or something.
Like there's just too many skills that are like so hard to. I would have to like go to like, for example, ranged, like, or like hunter. How would I train hunter in the Netherlands? Like
hunting, real life hunting.
Like,
look for squirrels or something.
I don't think it's a good idea here.
You'd probably have to like train all 23 skills, and like that could be a fun video, like training all 23 or 24 skills
in real life.
True.
In real life.
Honestly, trying out like in real life smithing would be kind of dope. Just like
100%.
Forging stuff, like smithing, like making kind of a video out of that, and then for each skill, yeah. But how would it? So what about rune crafting?
I made runes in real life.
Just contact some like eldritch gods or something. I don't know.
I mean, obviously you can't train magic. You can't train rune crafting.
What about Slayer?
You absolutely can.
Oh, like
you ever
magic.
do like a little like a shitty magic trick? Like, is this your card? Dun 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 dun. You get the little fireworks and shit.
So what about
Oxie,
Slayer?
When I come for the meetup, this is what we need to attempt.
Well, you know what? Okay, do you guys? So we have this in Michigan, right? The DNR has like rules and sometimes bounties on various invasive species.
Oh.
Like there was a period of time, I think it was the late 80s, where Michigan had a really big sea lamprey problem, and the DNR was offering like a certain amount of money per lamprey that you brought to DNR facilities.
Okay.
And they would pay you for like disinfecting the water. So
that sounds like
if
Slayer.
there was like a local, like we have freshwater gobies in my hometown, that's a big problem, and you legally cannot re-release them. So maybe if someone gave you an arbitrary number, like catch 30 freshwater gobies, that's your equivalent of Slayer. Like it's kind of fishing, but like you also have like a kill count because like you have to kill them. You legally can't put them back, and it always feels really bad.
Yeah.
But like
they have that with like wild boar here. They're just everywhere, and they're very destructive. So I think you have to go to like the Oklahoma for that. But
I think we're cooking something here, guys. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna keep this in the backlog of series ideas.
Hell yeah.
Okay. IRL
you
training.
Heard it here
I'll be looking out for it.
You heard it here first.
That'd be fun as hell.
Yeah.
We have 20. We have an episode for each skill, and then I'll try to learn as much about the skills I can. Maybe for smithing, I would go to like a professional smith, and like you will teach me as much as possible, and I will have to try it or something.
Make something out of bronze, because you can smith bronze.
The issue really would be thieving, because like how do you get away with that?
Petty theft.
Without,
I mean, just like there's petty theft. You go somewhere and I don't know.
So what? You posted on YouTube like, "Hey, I stole a thing from Tesco." You just put that shit on YouTube for.
I don't know. Like you have a girlfriend, you could be like, "Hey, I'm going to try and pickpocket you. Let me know if you feel any, or like if you legitimately know I'm pickpocketing you, slap me on the face. And then if you can successfully pickpocket her, then you did it."
You can go out in public, try and sneak an item from someone. And then if they catch you, you'll be like, we were just doing a social experiment for a YouTube video. And then you can cover it up,
Yeah. Well, I'm saying you could train that in your kitchen. Just like have your girlfriend walk around in a circle. And then if she feels you pickpocketing her.
That'd be a very exciting episode, I'm sure.
She slaps you on the faces. Oi, get out my pocket.
Yeah, core blimey, mate. I think you gotta like steal something from your friends. Where like, nothing that's like so bad that it would like ruin the friendship.
I go into my best friend's house and just like take items home, and then he's starting to miss items, and he's gonna like text me like, "Hey, did you like see this item?" Like, yes, mission successful.
Mission come.
As a matter of fact, I stole your whole thing of cat litter.
Sorry, I'm just doing a weird YouTube video. You'll get your items back soon, your stuff back. Don't worry about it.
This is what you're gonna do after the chunk. After the chunk series fizzles out.
Yeah.
Hey,
the finale is like sailing and then making amends for all the shit that you did in the thieving episode.
Look, I'm gonna have a lot of time doing fletching next week. So.
Oh gosh, that's so true.
Fletching in real life would be fun as
Yeah.
hell, though. Make yourself a bow to train range with. That'd be a good episode.
Damn. Oh, because you're self-sufficient. Like to train your attack, you have to use the weapon that you made with smithing. Oh man, how would you train defense? Would you just go to like a martial arts class and learn how to defend yourself?
That's a
that's
a good one.
Start
Go to MMA.
Just tank hits. You know.
Yeah. Go to like learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something.
Let people let those guys hit you, and you have to defend yourself.
We gotta go to church.
That's prayer, yes.
For prayer.
I thought about that.
Or
one.
burying bones, reverse paleontology.
Oh man.
Where do we get bones, Oxie?
I don't know. What do I look like? The bone guy?
Rag and Bone Man 3. Oxie's the bone guy. Oh, well, Onus. That was an unorthodox fun question.
Says a museum. There it is,
Yeah,
baby. We got the thieving and the prayer episode.
Art thief. Hey, you can make a lot of money doing that.
Steal a dinosaur bone, bury it in the backyard.
The dinosaur
Hell
bones.
Yeah.
Anyway, Iron Notice,
Honestly,
thank you for that fun question.
It does sound kind of fun to do this now. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh,
I think it would get a lot of views.
do it.
Do you think you could sacrifice a bone to like a local church altar?
I don't know about that one.
Just go into the church and leave the bone on the altar. Nobody's looking.
Oh my god. And then you'd be like,
it's not a real bone though. It's like a bone from like a skeleton from science class. Bring the skeleton.
It's gotta be the dinosaur bone you stole from the museum. But
for the third time, thank you, Iron Otis, for that fun question. Appreciate you. Even it was unorthodox, but this is how we roll with Xpwaste. So
true. It has been quite the good time, but all good things must end, as we say. So we are coming to the end of this episode. Verf, my friend, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been a blast.
It was really fun.
Who are you? Where can people find you? What do you do?
Okay, I'm Verf. I play RuneScape. No, I'm kidding. I play a lot of unique ironmen, so if you're interested in the people called Snowflake community, definitely check out some of the accounts I play. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and yeah.
Threads? Are you on Facebook Threads? Ooh.
OnlyFans, you know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo.
All the links for Verf will be in the description.
Don't test us. We'll put the link in the description. I swear to God. So there's going to be a Twitch, a YouTube, a Twitter, and quite possibly an OnlyFans link in the description down below for you guys to go check out. Go follow Verf on all the platforms. Maybe he'll offer a discount on the OF.
It's just his OnlyFans is pictures of his account, like his bank account and like his flex.
No, it's just new items.
He plays a UIM. What bank?
Oh, have you seen his bank on his chunk? That's I've never seen 4,000 Obor keys.
It's just basically it's just pictures of my chunk bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge flex.
Yes.
Gets people off.
Yes. Good God. Well, it's gonna get us off this conversation. What do you think, Michael? All right. Yes. So, in addition to all of Verf's links, every link you will ever need is in the description down below. Discord, Patreon, our merch store, any of our socials, all that fun stuff. Like Verf said earlier, don't forget to like and subscribe. Do all the algorithm pleasing things. Yep. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, if there are any of you out there. I don't know.
Follow us on Spotify?
Yeah, because you can do that. Follow us on Spotify.
Rate the show.
I always forget you can do that. Sure, rate the show too. And Michael's just steamrolling the suggestions. Doing great. Or don't give us 5 stars. We're not your
4
mom.
stars.
You know, rate it how you feel. Rate it however you feel appropriate.
3 stars.
But that is going to do it for us this week. I am not going to be here next week. So you guys are going to get either just Michael soloing it or Michael with a special guest next week. I don't know who it's going to be, but I can tell you it's not going to be me. that's going to wrap it up this week for Xpwaste, folks. Verf, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to everyone out there, we will see you guys next week.
Bye everyone.